Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a rainy night in Philadelphia. I'm Pete Van Wern along with Skip Carey. Tonight we hope to have for you Game 2 in the 3-game set between the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies, but right now the weather is interfering. The rain has stopped just a couple of minutes ago, though, and the ground crew is now busily at work trying to get this field ready. The pitchers, though, have not yet started to warm up. As for this road trip for Atlanta, got off to a great start. Braves took 2 out of 3 in New York, then lost 3 straight to Montreal, and again last night to the Phillies. Skip, it was a good night to be an ex-Brave last night.
Boy, it sure was. Tommy Green and Dale Murphy both had terrific nights. Though Green wasn't involved in the decision, he pitched great baseball for 7 1/3 innings, struck out Ron Gant in this spot, and was in complete command, walked only 1 man all evening long. He trailed in the game, however, 3-2 till he batted in the 5th inning against Steve Avery. And then Mr. Green really rubbed some salt in the wound with his ex-mates, hitting a long home run. It was a tie ball game until the other ex-Brave, Dale Murphy, batted later in the game. He got ahead 2 balls, no strikes in the count against Juan Berenguer, and then jumped on a fastball and absolutely crushed it into deep left center field. The loss puts, and that was the final score, by the way, 4-3. The loss puts the Braves 5 games out, as you see. And they're still a half game ahead of San Diego and in 3rd place. Not time to panic yet, but it certainly is time, Pete, to try to get things turned around, and perhaps they can do it tonight. The last guy who won is Pete Smith. He pitches this evening.
Yes, he will. He'll be on the mound against the organization that he started out in, Jose De Jesus, scheduled to be the starting pitcher tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies. And it looks like we'll be getting underway anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes beyond our scheduled starting time because of the weather. We understand, though, we're going to be battling these raindrops all night long. In the meantime, we're going to throw it back to our Atlanta studios, the Bob Newhart Show, for your enjoyment, and then we'll be back with an update from the vet. .354 hitter for the year. Had that record-setting day on Sunday when he stole 6 against the Expos. 32 stolen bases on the year. Terry Pendleton will follow, and then Ronnie Gant. And we'll see if De Jesus has any kind of control tonight. Not on the first pitch. Ball 1 inside. Expect a lot of deep counts. 3-1, 3-2, 2-2 counts on hitters for the Braves all night long. This guy throws a lot of pitches. De Jesus with a 1-0. And that misses low. He basically has 3 pitches, a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. And there you can see the walks per 9 innings, the most of any starting pitcher in the National League. There's a strike. You can tell by his velocity that he's got a good arm. Over 90 miles an hour with the fastball. This is not his first outing ever against the Braves, but he has no record yet against Atlanta. He has a 10-11 lifetime Major League record. Came out of the Kansas City organization. He's the player that the Phillies got in return for infielder Steve Jeltz in that trade back in March of 1990. Now the 2-2 on the way, and it's a check swing foul back off the screen. Still 2-2. One remarkable number about Jose De Jesus. You look over his career numbers, and they go all the way back to 1983 when he was first signed by Kansas City. He never had a winning record anywhere he's played. He has always been at 500 or below at every stop along the way. It's always been a case of potential with him, and he's gone 3-2 on the first hitter, Otis Nixon. But his records in professional ball: 1-2, 11-12, 8-10, 4-9, 4-11, 9-9, 2-3, 0-1, 8-11, 1-4, and 7-8. Right to the third baseman, Wally Backman, who throws out Nixon. 1 gone. And that'll bring up Terry Pendleton. But it's guys like these, Skip, and you've seen a lot of players, both pitchers and otherwise, like Jose De Jesus. They have so much potential for being a good player. He might wind up, if he doesn't cut it with the Phillies here, playing with 2 or 3 other major league clubs.
They love that fastball. If you can throw it 90 plus, somebody will take a chance at it.
Pendleton backs away from a high tight fastball. Ball 1. He's at 308, 5 homers, 23 runs driven in.
The other thing that adds to the effectiveness of a kid like this is baseball players know their business, and they know this guy's wild. So you have to be a little loose when you stand in there, because you don't have any idea where it's going, and neither does the guy throwing it.
Behind a ball and no strikes, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Good fastball there. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was one of those fastballs that earned a little stare out of the mound by Pendleton. Foul back. It's 1-2. DeJesus has pitched both as a starter and in relief. Pitched a couple of games in relief against Atlanta when the Phillies were at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on the last homestand. He's ahead in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Terry Pendleton. Ronnie Gant on deck. And Pendleton's out of there. That was the slider. DeJesus has his first strikeout of the night. 2 gone on the top of the first.
He had Terry way off stride here. Look. That's about as bad a swing as we've seen him have all year.
Now Ronnie Gant, the center fielder, has got that batting average up to 225 for the year now. 12 homers and 33 runs driven in. Average has been steadily climbing for about the last 3 weeks. Slider missed low, ball 1. Braves trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, their longest losing streak of the season. This will be out of play, and the count even on Ronnie Gant. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not much of a crowd here. The day-long rain here in Philadelphia kept a lot of folks home. And as we mentioned, the forecast very, very iffy for the rest of the night. And also for tomorrow, which is one of the reasons that they decided to go ahead and try to play this one tonight.
There's a light rain falling as we speak.
Here's the 1-1 now to Gant, low and away, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch on the way, misting high, 3-1. You saw that note on the runs per game the Braves have scored in the last 8. And this from a team that was having no trouble scoring runs until this recent stretch. Here's the 3-1 now to Gant. It's inside low, ball 4. There's the first walk issued by DeJesus, and the first base runner of the night belongs to Atlanta. Gant aboard, 2 down, and David Justice will step in. Justice comes in at 309. He has 10 home runs, drove in his 49th run in last night's game. Still atop the league by 4 in RBIs. Will Clark second with 45, then the Mets' Howard Johnson with 43. Had a good cut, didn't get it, 0-1. He's been seeing a lot of high fastballs lately. Where it really spreads, you might recall last year, one of the only ways pitchers were able to get him out was with curveballs down a little bit below the knees, which he would chase. Now the last week to 10 days or so, high fastballs have been what a lot of pitchers have gone to against Justice. There's another one. He uppercuts it and hits it into foul territory. Dalton coming over, but he's not going to have a play. And the count 0-2 now on David Justice. Dalton just returning today. As Skip mentioned, he's been rehabbing at Reading, the Phillies AA farm club. He tried to come back a couple of weeks ago, was still having some blurred vision problems. Nothing into the count. Gant the runner first, 2 down, first inning. He tried to climb the ladder. Justice wouldn't bite. 1-2. Gant's 11 out of 14 in base stealing this year. Stole his first 10, has been caught, though, 3 of his last 4 times. He's going on the 1-2 pitch. It is strike 3 called, says Tom Hallion. Threw the slider inside corner at the knees. 2 strikeouts in the inning for De Jesus. The Braves strand one. We played a half inning in Philadelphia with no score.
Tonight on TBS, even if this man sets her free, another will never let her go. Gregory Peck, Eva Marie Saint, The Stalking Moon. Tonight at 10:15 Eastern following Braves baseball.
Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
Washington, the speech capital of the world. Ever wonder how they found time to write all those speeches? Lanier. With Lanier, a senator can dictate 6 speeches in the time it takes to write one. A congressman can dictate a speech on the way to making a speech. Fortunately for everyone who has to listen to all that, Lanier can save us time, too, for things we enjoy. Ooh, I might make it to the White House.
Call Lanier, 1-800-241-1706.
Television's best sports team is now the first word in sports. Nick and Fred are moving up to a new time, 11 p.m. Eastern. CNN Sports Tonight, the first word in sports.
We go to the bottom half of the first inning. And here's a look at the Philly lineup. Wally Backman in there at third base tonight, followed by Morandini, Wes Chamberlain in left. John Kruk, a 2-run homer last night. Dale Murphy, a solo shot. Darren Dalton and Sil Campusano, whose great throw cut down Tommy Gregg late in the game. Rod Booker gets the call at short. Jose De Jesus is the pitcher. And there's a look at the Atlanta defense. Pete Smith, 3-4 lifetime against the Philadelphia team, will do the pitching.
And there you see Peter's numbers for this year. He's making his 6th start since being activated from the disabled list. And he says since coming off the disabled list this time, his shoulder and arm have felt stronger between starts than before he had those shoulder problems. His arm has never felt better. And his pitching to this point has demonstrated that. Here's Wally Backman, a .240 hitter on the year, playing third base tonight. He's playing in his 1,000th major league game tonight. And he has always hurt the Braves. A .290 lifetime hitter against Atlanta. And the first pitch from Pete Smith misses low and inside, ball 1. With that win last night, the Phillies snapped a 3-game losing streak. But they're having a tough time of it in June, only 5-11. Olsen holding it there a second longer, but couldn't get the call. 2-0. Now the 2-0 on the way. There's a strike, fastball outside corner, 2-1. Wally Backman has complained recently about his lack of playing time. Only getting about 2 starts a week. He wants to play more. And he's asked to be traded if he doesn't get more playing time. Well, that'll help get you more playing time. It gets past Nixon all the way to the wall. Backman on his way to second. He'll take the turn and hold on there. Keep an eye on line drives hit to the outfield tonight. The turf in the outfield was not, of course, covered by the tarp. It is wet. And when you get wet turf out there, the ball tends to really skip off of it.
And that's what happened to Nixon on this play. Good job of hitting by Backman. Took it right where it was pitched. Otis thought he was going to cut this off, but it really accelerated, as Pete said. So Backman is at second with nobody out.
And second baseman Mickey Morandini will step in. He's hitting .262 with 7 runs driven in. For Backman, that was his 6th extra base hit of the year. They've all been doubles. Morandini gets the bunt past Pete Smith. He's got a base hit. Runners first and third. All he was trying to do was bunt the runner over to third, but he got enough on that ball to roll it just beyond the reach of Pete Smith.
A perfect bunt. Smith a little slow getting off the mound, and that cost him any chance. Treadway had no chance at all.
So now Philadelphia runners at the corners Nobody out in the bottom of the first, and Wes Chamberlain, the left fielder, just called up from AAA, stepping in. Hitting .294. A homer and 2 RBIs, 4 for 12 since being recalled. He started out the year with the Phillies and was sent down very early. Just called up last week. Morandini chased back. Fouled off at the plate, 0-1. Philadelphia does not have an awful lot of base stealing threats, but Morandini can swipe one. They've only stolen 30 bases as a team. Their leading base stealer is still Lenny Dykstra with 7. He hasn't played in a month. Von Hayes also stole 7. That'll be his total for the year. Von Hayes out for the year with a broken arm. Another throw over. It's Wes Chamberlain, kind of an interesting guy. He's out of the Pirate organization originally. One of his hobbies is singing. He'd like to do it professionally. Sang the national anthem a couple of times down at AAA before games in Scranton. Would like to do it here at the Vet, and I'm sure they'll let him do it someday. Takes a strike at the knees, 0-2. Now, we talked about this the last time Peter started against the New York Mets. First inning difficulties. At best low and inside, 1-2. And he doesn't really know the reason for it. He's tried all different kinds of warm-up patterns. Warming up for shorter periods of time, for longer periods of time. But can't explain why the first inning gives him so many problems. There have even been cases of starting pitchers who have pretended like they were pitching an inning, throw for 8 to 10 minutes, then sit down for a while, then go back out and warm up again. Try to overcome that first inning problem. That's up the middle. Pete Smith almost got a glove on it, but not quite. And the Phillies are up 1-0. Chamberlain drives in his 3rd run. Morandini stops down at second.
It's a nice job of hitting. He's fooled on the pitch. Watch his hands, though. He keeps the hands back and gets just enough of it to get it over Pete Smith's head. That's the key to hitting, is those hands. If you can keep them back, even when you're fooled, you've got a chance.
So 3 consecutive hits here in the first have gotten the Phillies an early run. Now John Kruk, who got them going last night with a 2-run homer. Now .288 for the year, 9 home runs, 41 runs driven in. Is known to be an opposite field hitter, but against the Braves this year, he's hit a couple of home runs to right field and has pulled the ball a couple of other times. Strike inside corner, belt high, 0-1. Now the 0-1, missing down and away, and the count even, a ball and a strike on John Kruk.
Pete Smith, first inning earned run average this year, 14.4. The rest of the game, 1.16.
Inexplicable.
There's the story.
Here's the 1-1 to Kruk, way outside, 2-1. There's even a school of thought, and this makes as much sense of anything, that pitchers who have first inning troubles, they're aware of it, of course, and they worry so much about it that their concentration is put off a little bit early in a ball game.
Maybe bring a relief pitcher in to pitch the first and have the starter start in the second.
That's what Pete suggested to Bobby Cox after his last start, even though he settled down after the first inning. Now, we've seen, Skip, and Rick Mailer was an early case of this when he first came up. When he knew he was starting a game, he would struggle early. When he got to the ballpark and was told by Joe Torre at the time, "We've changed our mind, you're starting tonight instead of tomorrow night," he pitched well.
A lot of guys have that first inning trouble. Bob Gibson was always that way. But if you didn't get him then.
Remember Zane Smith when he was with the Braves? He had first inning troubles very often. He seems to have overcome that now over at Pittsburgh. Here's the 2-1 delivery to Kruk. And Pete Smith in danger of loading the bases as he falls behind 3-1 on John Kruk. Dale Murphy on deck. Nobody out, 1 run in. Chamberlain the runner at first, Morandini down at second, and the 3-1 to Kruk. Back up the middle, base hit center field. Morandini gets the green light around third. The throw will not be cut off. It's off the mound, but no chance to get the runner. Morandini scoring run number 2 of the inning. John Kruk's 42nd RBI of the year, still nobody out. And this one unraveling in a hurry on Pete Smith. Leo Mazzoni on his way to the mound.
You can see Olsen wanted the pitch away. It was right over the heart of the plate, and Kruk hit it right back where it came from. 4 straight hits. No activity in the bullpen. The forecast is bad, and so's the score.
And the next hitter will be Dale Murphy, whose long home run, measured at 433 feet last night, was the deciding run. Murphy now with 10 homers on the year, 3 of them hit in his last 10 games. And if you remember his long career with Atlanta, how streaky a hitter he was. He would carry a club for a month at a time, and then fall into a little slump here and there. But he might be entering one of those hot streaks right now for the Phillies. Said after the game last night he still feels strange playing against Atlanta, and he wondered if a player who played a long time for one team and then gets traded to another ever overcomes that, or if that's always something that's in the back of your mind. Murphy now hitting .264 for the year. Breaking ball outside, ball 1.
I think one thing that's good for him, and I hope people don't misunderstand what I'm saying, he's a popular player here, but he does not receive the adulation that he received in Atlanta, and he was never comfortable with that. He's just not motivated in that direction.
Nobody out, 2 runs in, 4 consecutive hits here in the bottom of the first. Again, Pete Smith stepping off the rubber. Now the 1-0 on the way. Good stop by Olsen. Kept it from going to the screen. 2-0 though is the count. Darren Dalton waits on deck. Two and 1. Braves on this road trip now 2-5. Overall for the year, 2 games over 500. And as we showed you at the outset, now 5 games back at the Dodgers. And it's 3-1 now on Murphy. And now we may be about to get some activity in the Atlanta bullpen. I'm seeing some stirring out there. Rick Mailer up in the very first inning for Atlanta. Here's the 3-1 delivery to Murphy. Bouncing ball foul. Full count, 3-2. We'll see whether Jim Fregosi sends the runners here. That was Hal Lanier, one of Fregosi's lieutenants. The runners are not going. The 3-2 gets Murphy swinging. He chased a breaking ball that may have been ball 4. But the Braves finally get the first Philadelphia out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it is ball 4, but he had already committed himself. That big sweeping swing of his, that's a problem he's had throughout his career.
Well, now Darren Daulton welcomed back by the Philadelphia crowd. He was in that automobile accident with Lenny Dykstra. It's taken Daulton a little longer than they thought for him to get back. He's a double play candidate. If you can get him to hit a ground ball, that would get Pete out of this in pretty good shape. Ball 1 low and inside.
Here's a guy who was a 25th round draft choice, just signed a 3-year contract last winter for what? Over $3 million.
Over $3 million.
So you don't have to be a number 1 draft choice to do rather well in this game.
That's why I can't understand the situation that's developed. And you were just talking about it at the outset. First the pitch to Daulton, a little bit outside, 2-0. With the number 1 draft choices in baseball, I don't understand how ownership has allowed that to happen. These kids that are drafted in the first round in professional baseball haven't proven a thing yet, and many of them never make it to the major leagues. And they are really getting huge amounts of money just to sign a contract. There's the 2-0 pitch, and it's outside, 3-0. You can understand it a little more in basketball and football, where those young players coming out of college programs are expected to step right in and contribute. But when you're talking about close to $1 million for a kid who may be playing at rookie league level, that's a long ways from being a major league player. Here's the 3-0 pitch now to Daulton, and he takes outside, ball 4. They are loaded now for Sil Campusano. First walk of the inning issued by Smith. And my guess would be, if Pete wants to stay in the game, he has got to get Sil Campusano out. Campusano has not yet gotten a hit this year in a Philly uniform. He's 0 for 10. Breen came over to try to settle down Pete Smith. Now Terry Pendleton offers some words of encouragement. There was a big moment in last night's game. Tommy Gregg trying to score. Campusano's throw from center field to Steve Lake.
Gregg jumped in the lake, but he held on to the throw.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 2 runs in. Here's Campusano, who was hitting .255 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre when he was called up. Ball 1 outside. Infield back at double play depth at second and short. In at the corners. In the hole, base hit, left field. Chamberlain scores. Kruk will be held at third. Nixon bobbles the ball in left, but now recovers. Everybody stays put. 1 more run is in. It's 3-0. Campusano's first hit as a Philly this year and his first RBI. It's 3-0. And here comes Bobby Cox. The night, a very short one for Pete Smith.
Not much on that baby. It just hung there. So Pete Smith is through, and Rick Mailer will get the call from the Atlanta bullpen.
The first real ineffective outing that Pete Smith has had since coming off the disabled list, and this one truly was ineffective. Only a third of an inning. 5 hits allowed, 3 runs to this point, 3 more base runners out there that belong to him, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. The veteran, newly reacquired Rick Mailer, trotting in from the Braves bullpen. He'll be facing Rod Booker right after this. On this staff to come in games like this and hopefully give him some innings and keep it from getting out of hand. Those are his overall numbers for the season. His second appearance since rejoining the Braves. His first one came in Montreal. He worked an inning and 2/3, allowed a run, 2 hits. And he'll be facing shortstop Rod Booker here. Booker, a .222 hitter. Been plagued by minor injuries all season. Hasn't gotten that many at bats. Only 36 trips to the plate for Booker. Bases loaded, 1 man out, 3 runs have scored here in the first inning. Ball 1, the count on Booker. 8th man to bat in the inning for the Phils. Now the 1-0. Bouncing ball hit out towards second. Treadway juggles it a bit. They're only going to get the one out. Had a chance for the double play, but Treadway had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. Another run is scored. Truck trotting home from third to make it 4-0. Give Booker an RBI, his 6th.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get 2 on this well because it gets there in such a hurry. It came up a little quickly again. Again, it skidded. And Belliard wisely held on. He had no chance. De Jesus has driven in 3 runs. He's hitting 200, so he's no joke up there.
Runners at the corners now at 2 down. Four runs in for the Phils here in the first inning. Ball 1 outside. And that misses. 2-0. There's the 2-0 on the way. Foul back off the screen. 2-1.
One of the reasons the season has been an unhappy one for the Phillies is the loss of Ken Howell, who's been on the disabled list all year. He's working out now, throwing in their bullpen.
Probably would have done that before the game tonight, but the rain kept everybody indoors. There's a strike outside corner. 2-2. I never thought when we left the hotel tonight that we'd have this going on at this hour. The forecast was terrible and the rain was really coming down. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Into the seat, still 2-2. Again, the 2-2 on the way to De Jesus. Again, he gets a piece of it and stays alive with a 2-2 count. Braves pitchers putting a lot of effort into getting through this first inning. This will be the 35th pitch of the first inning between Pete Smith and Rick Mailer. Shallow right field. Justice had him played over there. Doesn't have far to go to get it, and that finally retires the side for the Phillies in the first. But a very productive first it was for Jim Fragosi's club as they score 4, and after 1, it's 4-0 Philadelphia.
There's a level of service with which you're already quite familiar. Only now you can enjoy it at 35,000 feet. Delta's person-to-person service to over 270 cities worldwide. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
You want to protect your family with a good investment at a good price. You need someone to help you handle the road ahead. You need a Goodyear retailer. Not only because he stocks a wide selection of quality tires, but because he can help you select the right tire for your budget and the way you drive. A tire that can help provide your family with a secure future. Good tires, good service, good people. Goodyear.
So much to celebrate. Corbel Champagne.
Atlanta Braves baseball brought to you by Corbel Champagne. We have so much to celebrate.
Well, there's your score at the end of 1. Jose De Jesus staked to a 4-run lead. He's got Sid Bream, Jeff Treadway, and Greg Olson. Due up here in the second inning. And it's going to take a little while before we can start because for the third straight warm-up pitch, Jose De Jesus has thrown one back to the backstop. Darren Dalton coming out to make sure he's okay. Perhaps the long layoff while the Phillies hit has tightened him up a bit. Now Jim Fragosi's concerned. We've just seen DeJesus throw 3 straight to the backstop. That last one sailed about 5-6 feet over Dalton's head. And Tom Hallion will accompany Fregosi out. This will be a medical check to make sure he's okay. It won't count as a visit in all likelihood, if that's all they talk about. That's why the umpire stays right there.
He might have gotten pine tar on his fingers the way he's acting when he batted. You know, he doesn't want to come out of this game here. He's got a 4-0 lead. Or maybe it's numbness. It's something to do with his fingers.
He keeps flexing his right hand and blowing on that hand.
That one almost to the backstop.
You can see him say, "I'm all right." But that's got to be a little disconcerting if you're a Braves hitter. You're facing a guy who's wild enough already. It's like watching Ryan Duran warm up.
You know, we're talking about those draft choices, and I think you put it the correct way. The owners are the ones that let this happen, giving guys money to do nothing but sign their names. So I don't know what the upshot of it's going to be, but all I know is there are 12 kids that should be signed and playing so they can head toward the major leagues. The sooner you start playing, the sooner you have a chance to make it up top. And
if fans wonder why so many, why are the top 12 picks holding out? It's almost a domino effect. Everybody waits for the number 1 choice, that Brian Taylor kid out of North Carolina. He was drafted by the Yankees. They're waiting for him to sign to see what kind of money he gets, and then just progress a few dollars downward each step on the ladder. But you're right. The 12 kids who are unsigned right now are wasting valuable time developing. It's, in some cases, sets a player back a year or more because they start them at a lower level.
Yeah, and if it gets into late July, a month from now, if you haven't signed, it's almost a wasted year. But by the time you come up and get back in shape, the minor league season's come to a close.
Well, here's Sid Bream leading off the second. Sid hitting .286, 9 homers, 34 runs driven in. And we'll see if he can get the Braves going here, down by 4. Braves will be back home Thursday. The Mets come to town Thursday night. Dwight Gooden against John Smoltz in the opening game of that 4-game series. Ball 1 to Bream. Two and nothing. There's a strike, 2-1. He's still having trouble with that right hand. He moved off to the turf behind the mound to blow on that hand again. He apparently did not get permission from the umpires to do that while on the mound. If you don't have that permission, the umpires can call a ball anytime you go to your mouth like that. 3-1 the count. And a 3-1 pitch on the way to Bream, right through there for a strike, a full count, 3-2. High in the air, deep to right center field. Campusano drifting back. He'll get to it on the track, it appears. He will. A long out number 1 here in the top half of the second inning as Sid Bream flies to deep center.
And that's what you can do with a 4-run lead. Bream knew he would see a fastball. He got a good cut at it, was unable to pull it, and it's just a long out.
Jeff Treadway at .330 for the year. A couple of home runs, 11 RBIs, starting to play a little more regularly after his bout with hamstring problems and then the flu. He takes ball 1 up and away. And it's 2-0 on Treadway. You're going to see this a lot tonight from DeJesus. He has a winning record, 3-2, but he has to pitch from behind almost all the time. Here's the 2-0. Out the inside corner, 2-1. in this ballpark on Mike Schmidt night. Jeff Treadway, 3 home runs. Foul back, still 2-2. It's full, 3-2 now on Treadway. Treadway had 6 RBIs that night. He hit the 3 homers on Mike Schmidt night. And then when they held Dale Murphy night, Murphy now in a Philly uniform, of course, in Atlanta, Jeff Blauser played second base that night and drove in 6. High in the air, deep to right center field. Campusano going back, still going, and this one's going to bounce off the wall. Treadway will wind up with at least 2, and he'll hold on there with a stand-up double. The first Atlanta hit of the night off De Jesus.
And again, on a 3-2 pitch, it's a fastball outside part of the plate. And Jeff hit the daylights. I thought Campusano gave up on that ball a little early. He looked like he could have made that play.
So Treadway down at second with the first Atlanta hit. Now the catcher, Greg Olson, who comes in at 282 with a couple of home runs and 13 runs driven in. That double by Treadway is second of the year. He now has 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 homers. Ball 1 to Olson. Even down by 4. You don't feel like you're out of a game with a pitcher like De Jesus, who can load them up with walks in a hurry. 2-0. He's still blowing on that hand. I bet you were right, Skip. I bet the hand's got a little numbness in it.
Maybe from swinging the bat? I don't know.
Here's the 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0 on Olson. It's not because it's cold here, that's for sure. It's in the 60s, a little cooler than we had last night. But a very comfortable night here in Philadelphia. Now a 3-0 pitch to Olson. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Braves hitters when the team is down by 4 getting green lighted on 3-0 pitches against De Jesus. They will make him throw at least 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and he loses Greg Olson. Second walk of the night issued by De Jesus. First and second now with 1 out for Rafael Belliard. Now Belliard will give him the smallest strike zone he's seen.
This is one of those bonus games we like to offer our fans every now and then throughout the year, where we provide you with twice as many pitches as normal.
Well, we told you about the Braves pitchers in the first inning. They needed 35 pitches to get through the inning. This will be the 38th pitch thrown by De Jesus. He has 1 out in the top of the second. Belliard 234, 17 runs driven in. And with that tiny strike zone, De Jesus gets ahead of him, 0-1.
The pace this game is going, Glenn Diamond's baby Jessica will graduate from Vassar before we're through.
Oh, and 2 the count now on Belliard. The pitcher Rick Mailer on deck. Off the end of the bat toward first. Kruk will make the play himself. The runners move up to second and third. 2 down, and Rick Mailer will hit. Mailer's always been a pretty good hitting pitcher. This year he got only 9 at bats with Montreal. He was 1 for 9.
Has deceptive speed too. He's slower than he looks.
Chance to help himself here. 2 men in scoring position. He takes a strike from De Jesus, who against the last 2 hitters has all of a sudden found the strike zone. Not with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
These kind of pitchers drive catchers to distraction, too, because you really have no idea how to.
And all the rest of your defense out there kind of get back on their heels when you have so many deep counts. Now the 1-1. Mailer pops it foul, coming back out of play. And it's now a ball and 2 strikes on Rick Mailer. Nothing. Phillies are in the top half of inning 2. The 1-2 coming. Got him. Mailer out of there swinging. Third strikeout of the game for De Jesus. The Braves strand runners at second and third. We've played an inning and a half in Philadelphia. It's 4-0 Phils.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created a car polish so technologically advanced, one application lasts an entire year. Introducing Finish 2001, the car polish you use only once every 12 months. This old car's been badly neglected. Its finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 with its urethane formula safely brings back the showroom shine, a rich, deep gloss shine that lasts an entire year. We tested Finish 2001 against other leading polishes, even some that claim to protect your car against fire or against acid. And the test results? Nothing, but nothing protects or shines better than Finish 2001, the 12-month car polish with a 100% money-back guarantee.
Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
Won't you sail away now, where the sun warms every shore? The Caribbean calls you with the sweet sea breeze and more.
Discover the joys of Royal Caribbean's Caribbean. 3 to 10 night cruises to the Bahamas, Virgin Islands, Barbados, and more on the grand resorts of the 7 seas.
Well, there's your score as we move to the bottom half of the second inning. The battery of De Jesus and Dalton has shut down the Braves, and even though De Jesus is wild, here's why managers stick with pitchers like this. Watch this ball move. Fastball.
It had to move a good 8-10 inches.
Almost picked off his own catcher, Darren Dalton. He couldn't believe it.
And had it picked off Darren Dalton, it would certainly have picked off the home plate umpire, Tom Hellion.
Top of the order for the Phils again as we go to the second. Wally Backman started the first inning with a double. And came around to score the first Philadelphia run. One ball, no strikes. Rick Mailer and Wally Backman have seen each other many times before. And Backman, we don't have the numbers on him, but he was hitting something like 500 in his career against Rick Mailer. They don't have Mailer's individual breakdown on the sheet provided us, but Wally Backman used to own Rick Mailer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled off, 1-2. Mickey Morandini and then Wes Chamberlain behind Backman. Here's the 1-2 now to Backman. Threw him that Ephus pitch. Backman is right at 500 in his career against Rick Mailer. 24 for 48. Now a 2-2 on the way. Almost caught that inside corner. Full count, 3-2. Update you on another score. Howard Johnson's hit a grand slam off Tom Browning. And the Mets are doing it to the Reds again. 5-2 in the bottom of the third. Mets beat them 10-6 last night. Here's the 3-2, and it's ripped into left center field. He's over 500 now. Look at that ball take off on that wet turf. Same place the first one went. Backman might try for 3 this time. Nope, he's going back. As that ball rolled dead at the base of the wall out there. But an almost identical 2-base hit to the one he had leading off the first inning for Wally Backman, who's now 25 for 49 in his career against Rick Mahler.
It was a change, and he waited on it, and then the ball, as Pete said, just accelerates like a rocket in that outfield.
That's the 6th Philadelphia hit. Backman has 2 of them, both doubles. And Mickey Morandini, who had a bunt single in the first inning, steps in. Backman now with 7 doubles on the year. Strike outside corner to Morandini. Member of the '88 Olympic team. Took him only 2 years to get to the major leagues after signing. Foul back, 0-2. He's out of Indiana University. 5th round draft pick in '88. Mahler ahead in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 on the way. Tried to move him off the plate with an inside fastball, 1-2. Wes Chamberlain, the on-deck hitter. Morandini now 4 for 9 against the Braves this year. Here's the 1-2 pitch to him. Ground ball to the left side. That'll keep the runner at second. Belliard on to first. Morandini retired. 1 down. And now Wes Chamberlain, who drove in a run with a base hit in the first inning. A lot of people in baseball, not just with the Phillies, but all around baseball, think this guy's got the potential to be a top player in the big leagues. And he takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. He, too, if you watch his batting style, we talked about this with a couple of other hitters earlier this year, a little bit like Gary Matthews. Watch him wave that bat just before the pitch arrives. Mahler undressed him with an inside fastball, 1-1.
Sort of the forgotten man for the Phillies is Ricky Jordan, who used to be their first baseman.
And Jordan not having that bad a year, hitting .283. Count goes to 2-1.
Some around here feel they ought to move Murph to center, put Kruk in right, and move Jordan back to first.
Yeah, there is some feeling that would be the strongest combination that the Phillies could put out there. You get Campusano in center right now. If he doesn't hit, and he hasn't been, that may happen soon. 3-1 the count on Wes Chamberlain. Mahler, another pitcher who oftentimes is behind in the count, but he's pitched like that his whole career. Here's the 3-1 on the way now to Chamberlain. Ripped right back up the middle. Off the glove of Treadway. Picked up by Belliard. No play at first. But the runner doesn't score. He's unable to score since Treadway was able to knock it down. It'll be a base hit for Chamberlain. He's now 2 for 2, and that's 7 Philadelphia hits already.
Here it is again. Off-speed pitch. Mahler just missed it as it came back up the middle, and Treadway did a good job to knock the ball down and saved a run in so doing.
Well, now John Kruk will hit. He had a run-scoring single in the first inning. Double play candidate if you can get him to hit a ground ball. Unlike DeJesus, who is behind in the count a lot, Mahler is what other pitchers and managers and coaches call a nibbler. He doesn't very often challenge guys, tries to hit corners, and pitches off the plate a lot. He'll get a lot of hitters to swing at pitches that are just a fraction of an inch off the plate, would have been called a ball. And if they take that pitch, That's when Mailer gets behind. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Kruk. Ground ball. Bream had to trickle off his glove. Let's see if Mailer can get over there before Kruk does. He does. But in to score from third, Wally Backman to make it 5-0. Kruk drives in his second run of the night, his 43rd run of the year. That was close at first base.
Here's the whole thing for you. Bream might have had that ball and might have had a double play had he been able to come up with it. There's the bang-bang play at first. Boy, did he get the bag at all? Might have gotten a break there.
Scored 3-4-1. And here's Dale Murphy, who struck out in the first inning. Chamberlain, the runner, down at second now with 2 outs. He went, says plate umpire Tom Hallion, 0-1. These two guys, teammates for a long time in Atlanta, Rick Mailer and Dale Murphy. Didn't mean to, fouls it off 0-2. They were a part of that last Atlanta team to win a division back in '82. The season that started out with 13 consecutive wins. Mailer got it going opening night with a shutout. Murphy was the MVP that year. Here's the 0-2 on the way to Murph, fouled off at the plate. Still 0-2.
Dale hitting .330 at the vet, so he's really struggled on the road.
Well, if you're a hitter, this is one place you want to play. It's a good hitter's park. Good backdrop for the hitters to hit against. Ball carries well in this park. You got the turf. And if you hit a ball hard on the ground, the turf can always help you there. That's why when you look at what Steve Carlton did for this team all those years, you have to admire it even more in a ballpark like this. Here's the 0-2 on the way now to Murphy. Little chopper up the middle. Let's see if Belliard can get to it. He can, and he'll throw out Murphy to retire the side. But the Phillies add to their lead. They pick up another run on 2 hits and leave 1. We've played 2, and it's already 5-0 Phillies.
Attention! Company! Dismiss!
The people of Delta would like to recognize the sacrifice made by our armed forces and their families.
We do have a special military affairs.
Now, with our Welcome Home Fairs, active military personnel and their eligible family dependents can travel to USA for 70% less.
Albuquerque, New Mexico? Is that your hometown?
That's right, ma'am. I'm going home.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Let me catch my breath.
Grandma gave me this. It's her favorite color.
Your room's ready?
Lilac. It's my favorite color. I love it.
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Detonex. Killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Detonex.
There's a look at our unhappy score. Now it's time for our nightly Safeguard Safe at Second feature. There's Otis Nixon's stolen bases by month, 6 of those in June, of course, coming Sunday. That's our Safeguard Safe at Second feature.
And look at here, Otis Nixon, right after our Safeguard Safe at Second feature, just happens to be coming to the plate.
It's amazing coincidence.
Otis grounded out to third his first time up. DeJesus threw one more all the way to the backstop while warming up. There's a strike in the outside corner, 0-1. But he has got the Braves shut out. He has struck out 3. He's walked 2. Only given up 1 hit. That's the slider that missed low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out to short where Booker makes the play on Nixon. 1 gone in the 3rd, and that'll bring up third baseman Terry Pendleton, a strikeout victim his first time up. This is the kind of pitcher that hitters just hate to hit against. Guys that throw hard and are a little wild. Remember when J.R. Richard was pitching for Houston? There wasn't a Brave in uniform, good hitter or bad hitter, who looked forward to facing him. He was just wild enough to keep you really loose up there. Because most hitters like to look for a pitch in a certain location. You can't do that with a guy like this. Here's the 1-0. Good fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 coming. There's a little chopper over the mound. Second baseman Morandini charges. Fields flips to first in time. 2 down. So a quick 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd, and that'll bring up Ronnie Gant, who drew a walk in the 1st.
He unloaded this ball quickly. He had to. Pendleton out by just a step.
Gant with 45 hits on the year, 26 of them extra base hits, 13 doubles and a triple to go along with those 12 homers. Started him off with that breaking ball off speed, caught the outside corner, 0-1. Different pattern of pitching for DeJesus. Second time around the order, he's using the slider a lot more. That just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Fregosi felt that's what got Tommy Green in trouble his second time around the order. When the Braves got their 3 runs off him last night, he used the same pattern of pitches on every hitter. 1-2 the count here on Ronnie Gant, who hasn't seen a fastball yet from DeJesus. And a 1-2 on the way. There's the fastball. Fly ball, center field deep. Campusano gets back there in good shape, though, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for DeJesus. Nothing doing for the Braves in the 3rd. We go to the bottom half. Still 5-0 Philadelphia.
Wednesday night on TBS. In a world of danger, things are not what they seem.
There's something going on here that we don't know about. Is it?
He's probably the wealthiest and most wanted Nazi left alive.
Do you think I was dead? And I'd like to use you as possible bait.
Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier, Roy Scheider, Marathon Man. Wednesday night at 8:05 Eastern on TBS.
Born of the finest natural ingredients, then brewed and aged with extra care for that clean, crisp, cold taste. The taste only Budweiser can deliver.
And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beer.
The king of beers.
Nothing beats a Bud.
That bites.
Capital of this afternoon's
That bites.
average was.
That really bites.
It doesn't really bite. It just sort of bites.
You really bite.
You really bite.
Hey!
Only one root beer has bite. Barks Root Beer.
Now that bites.
Crisp, cold, straight ahead. Barks Root Beer will have you thinking differently about root beer.
Hey! Barks bites!
Keep it down.
That bites.
Barks Root Beer, the one with bite.
This telecast, authorized under rights granted by the Braves, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures Descriptions or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Braves is prohibited.
And here we go, bottom of the third. Darren Dalton leads it off against Rick Mailer. Ball one, low and outside. Dalton walked his first time up. They just did a tribute to our broadcast partner, Don Sutton. This is the anniversary of his 300th win. And they had that up on the screen between innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Good off-speed pitch. It's 1-1. Now the 1-1 to Dalton. Got the inside corner again with that breaking ball. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2 on the way. Struck him out. First strikeout for Rick Mailer. One gone in the bottom of the third. Phillies up 5-0.
Vintage Mailer off-speed breaking ball.
Now center fielder Sal Campusano got his first Philadelphia hit of the year. A run-scoring single in the first. That was the end of the night for Pete Smith, who lasted only a third of an inning tonight, was charged with 4 runs, 5 hits. Strike in the outside corner, 0-1. Well, we always like to let you know when one of the Braves minor leaguers has done something big. And Glenn Serra just brought us a note over regarding the Macon Ball Club in the South Atlantic League. Fly ball right center should be handled by Ronnie Gant. It is 2 down. We congratulate Macon pitcher Marcos Vasquez. He just pitched a 7-inning no-hitter against Savannah in the first game of a doubleheader. Macon winning at 8-0. So a no-hitter for Macon pitcher Marcos Vasquez tonight. Roy Matika, the manager down there this year. And he's got Brian Sticker, Glenn Hubbard, and Matt West serving as his coaches. Here's Rod Booker. Drove in a run when he hit into a 4-6 force in the first. Oh, 0-1 the count on Booker. The 0-1 coming. Little tap right back to the mound. Should be a very easy inning for Rick Mailer. He gets the Phillies in 1-2-3 fashion. So after 3 complete here at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, it is still a 5-0 Phillies lead.
That's life.
You little monkey face, you.
Say, you didn't look so hot yourself a few months ago.
When the medical crisis is gone, the bills should be too. Aflac Supplemental Insurance helps close the gaps in your health insurance, like deductibles, co-payments. Aflac lets you get on with your life.
Grandpa came through a lot to see you.
She's my girl.
Life supplies the surprises. Aflac supplies the peace of mind.
Whose romance with the road is rekindled with each sunrise. Beautiful mornings begin at 8. Super 8 Motels.
Weeds, no problem. Kill weeds and grasses, roots and all, with a shot of Roundup. For driveways, patios, fences. Make weeding easy. With Roundup, nothing kills weeds better.
Now, when you buy any size of Roundup or Green Sweep, you can get over $200 worth of coupons on all sorts of things to do in your spare time. The book's free when you buy either Roundup or Green Sweep. So pick up a bottle.
Or 2.
Yeah, right.
There's your score. We move to the 4th inning. Jose De Jesus will face David Justice to lead it off. To tell you about it, here's Skip Carey.
Okay, Pete, thank you. And David Justice struck out his first time. It's Justice, Bream, Treadway for Atlanta. 5-0 our score as we go to the 4th. De Jesus delivers breaking ball, a beauty, 0-1. Sharply hit, but right at the first baseman. Kruk takes it himself, 1 down. You know, Pete mentioned the good work tonight down in Macon. They're 10 games over 500. Best record in baseball is the Braves AA Greenville team. They're 44-20 going into tonight's play. And take a look at those earned run averages and those records. Cecil Upshaw's boy Lee, and then Mark Wohlers. Man, what a year he's had. Keith Mitchell and Ryan Plesko, the big sluggers for that team as well.
A couple of those names may not be staying at Greenville very long.
Sid Bream gets the second Atlanta hit of the night, a solid single to right. The Richmond team, not as rich in prospects. That's mostly veteran players. But the kids at AA, you figure them normally 2 years away from contending for a major league job in normal circumstances. They are having some year. Jeff Treadway has the other Atlanta hit, a second inning double. Fouled away, 0-1. It's 5-0. The Phils lead, and we're in the fourth. Our road trip that started with wins in 2 out of 3 in New York has suddenly turned very sour. Upstairs, a ball and a strike. Final game of the series, weather permitting, tomorrow at 12:35. Tom Glavine against Terry Mulholland. Marvin Freeman up and throwing in the Atlanta bullpen, under the watchful eye of bullpen coach Ned Yost. Let up, caught the inside corner.
Totally different pattern of pitches to the Braves hitters second time around the order. We've seen very few fastballs.
Seems that the fastball is the pitch he has the most trouble controlling. Did he go? No. Jerry Lane made the call from third base, and it's 2-2. Treadway takes a look at Jimmy Williams. I don't know what. There's not much you can do in this spot when you're down by 5 runs except flail away and hope to get a few of them back, and that's a step in that direction. That'll take off and roll to the wall. Bream is rounding third. They are going to hold him there, and runners are at second and third, and Bream may have hurt himself slamming on the brakes down at third base. He has the bad knees.
And he may have jammed the right one or twisted his right ankle coming around the bag at third. Jeff Porter on his way out to take a look at Sid Bream.
So a pair of doubles in succession for Treadway. Let's look again, Pete.
That was the fastball. And Treadway right on it gets his second 2-base hit of the night. But as Sid Bream is coming around third and has the brakes applied, watch what happens when he hits the bag. Right there.
And he's going to have to leave the game.
And I think it is the knee again. He has had trouble with both of his knees throughout his career. He is still in some pain, as you could see. We're going to get Brian Hunter in as a pinch runner as Sid Bream heads back to the locker room for further attention from Dave Pursley.
Runners at second and third, 1 out, and when we hear more about Sid's condition, we'll pass it along to you. Greg Olson is the batter, the infield back, willing to give up a run for an out. Curve high, 1 ball, no strikes. A light drizzle continues to fall here. Just spitting, as they say down south. Right under his chin, 2-0. Second and third, 1 out. Olson walked his first time. Three balls, no strikes. A walk loads him up. Jeff Blauser has grabbed a bat and moved on deck. Ball 4, Olson walks again. So the bases are loaded with one out, third walk for De Jesus. And Blauser will come on to hit for Rafael Belliard. Mailer moves on deck. So Belliard's night is through very early. And Jeff Blauser, who had that great series against the Phils down in Atlanta. Jim Fregosi looks on. Pitchers like De Jesus take years off managers' lives. They just drive you to distraction. Now Tommy Gregg has moved on deck. He'll pinch hit for Mailer. We're in the fourth inning. If you're wondering why Bobby Cox is using his best pinch hitter so early in the game, there is a terrible weather forecast, and he's thinking might be we better try to get him when we can because this game might end early. With the Braves trailing, you have to play 4.5 for it to be an official game. We're not there yet. 2 balls, no strikes. 6 in a row have missed the strike zone. A runner at every base and 1 out. No activity in the Phillies bullpen, but I imagine that is subject to change. Strike on the inside corner, 2-1.
Anything on the inner edge of the plate against a right-hand batter, you're going to see hitters reacting like that because you saw how that ball can take off on De Jesus.
He's battled back to even the count at 2-2. Five 7-0 for the Phils, 3-0 for the Braves. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blauser in his career 1 for 2 against De Jesus. The runners lead. Line drive, left center field, base hit. 1 run is in. Another runner will be held. It's 5-1. Blauser comes through again. A pinch single to left makes it a 5-1 ball game. The tying run comes to the plate. And Tommy Gregg will be announced here.
With Jeff Blauser having a career against the Phillies this year, that huge series in Atlanta, and now a line drive run scoring hit here to get the Braves on the board for the first time tonight. 10 for 14 off Phillies pitching now.
Johnny Padres comes out of the dugout to talk things over with De Jesus. He's the pitching coach of the Philadelphia team. And the bullpen goes to work. A right-hander is up. It's Ackerfeld once again.
Bruce Ruffin is the lefty.
Yeah, he'll go to work as well. So with 1 out, a single, a double, a walk, and another single, and the Braves are on the board. And here comes Tommy Gregg. Gregg was walked as a pinch hitter here last night. A walk right here would be all right. A long one would be even better. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's amazing what Blauser has done. 10 for 14, 13 RBIs against the Phillies.
The runners lead. They're at every base. Treadway, Olson, and Blauser. Didn't mean to. Infield fly rule in effect. He tried to stop his swing. Booker makes the play for the 2nd out of the inning.
And this one hurts Tommy Gregg because he is so committed to his role as pinch hitter. He never likes to get cheated up there, and you can just watch his reaction.
So Otis Nixon stands in. Bases still loaded, but now 2 are out. Nixon has bounced to third, bounced to short. Looks at a strike. That's 0-1. Bases loaded, but now 2 out. High pop, short left field. Chamberlain is there, and the inning is over. So the Braves, out of all that, get only 1 run on 3 hits, and they leave 3. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Phils lead at 5-1.
You bet we're finicky. At Price Pfister, when we make a faucet, we make it fit for a king. So we start with a foundation of solid brass inside, which makes it so durable, it's flat out terrific. Then we finish it to a fairly well outside and price it to please the frugal in everyone. Price Pfister, the fabulous faucet with a funny name.
There are chances worth taking, and some that are not. If a chance is worth taking, it's worth my best shot. So this time I'll play it safeguard. This time I'll play it safeguard.
The antibacterial lather in Safeguard gives you more deodorant protection than you may need from your soap. But a little insurance never hurts.
This time I'll play it safeguard.
A lot of women find my looks intimidating. Do you?
My mother makes the best brisket.
There I was in the Congo.
Why is a good man so hard to find?
Just a minute, okay?
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's dry brewed, not watered down. To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So while men aren't perfect,
You finished that?
at least refreshment is.
These changes for Atlanta as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Jeff Blauser stays in the game to play short. Brian Hutter stays in the game to play first. And Marvin Freeman becomes the 3rd Atlanta pitcher of the night. And left on the Atlanta bench, other than pitchers, are Mark Lemke, Lonnie Smith, and Mike Heath. Bobby Cox using a lot of people early here because of the weather forecast, trying to get back into this game. You see the numbers on Freeman. Mailer went 2 2/3 innings, allowed 2 hits and a run. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We have to play 4 1/2 before the game is an official one, and Ken Nolan and Lonnie Dale down in the truck tell us that they can hear thunder rumbling in the immediate vicinity. De Jesus will lead it off. This is the kind of spot where you have seen ball players deliberately strike out just to move things along and get the game into where they can get a potential win. Freeman deals a strike. It's 0-1. Marvin out of the Phillies chain. Outside, a ball and a strike.
A lot of players in this series that used to play for the other side, aren't there?
There's Lonnie Smith on our side. Right through there. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Top of the order, and Wally Backman left. He's doubled twice, scored twice. Playing the role of leadoff man to perfection. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chopped foul down the first base side. He chased ball 3. And a fan does a somersault onto the field as he tries to get the souvenir.
Typical coordination of a Kings fan.
Yeah.
I shouldn't degrade all Kings fans. I was thinking of a specific Kings fan, our executive producer, Glenn Diamond.
Yes, indeed. That might... No. He's too tall. While we were watching all that, here's what happened. That is known in the trade as strike three. One out, and Backman stands in. The count. It's even now, 1-1. Pete Van Weren, Skip Carey with you from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the story is not a pleasant one again for Braves fans. It's 5-1 Phillies. We're in the bottom of the fourth. On the inside corner, it's 1-2. Into the dirt. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So a payoff pitch due to the Philly leadoff man. Check it. It's 2-2. Olsen wants a fastball. And he gets one, and it's lofted into short right for a hit. Backman around first. He's going to try, and he's going to be in there. His third double in 4 innings.
First 2 are hit to left center field. This time he gets a fastball right out over the plate and just lofts a little looper into right field. Justice had him shaded toward right center. By the time he got to the ball, Backman had time to scamper down to second again.
Mickey Morandini will be the batter. Still just a very light drizzle. Morandini, as you see, is 1 for 2. He's scored a run. The Phils got 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and they threaten here in the fourth. Sliced foul, 0-1. Tom Glavine against Terry Mulholland here tomorrow afternoon, and then when the Braves come home, Thursday night, John Smoltz against Doc Gooden. Friday night, Charlie Liebrandt against Frank Viola. Saturday night, Steve Avery against Ron Darling. And Sunday afternoon, Peter Smith against Wally Whitehurst. Morandini fouls it back. Then we go away again, a brief series in Houston, and then the Dodgers come to town, a big doubleheader makeup of opening night on Friday night. And those are the numbers for tickets. We hope to see you there. Now the rain has increased as we guessed it would. High pop foul that will reach the seats. I still don't think it's raining hard enough to stop this game. And that's bad news for the Braves, who trail by 4. Fouled away again.
If this rain does shorten this game, it might cost Wally Backman a chance at setting a Philly record, or at least tying one. The most doubles in a game by a Philly, 4. He's got 3 already. We're only in the 4th inning.
Who's got the record?
A whole bunch of guys. Willie Putnett Jones, the last guy to do it. It's been a long time, back in 1949, but there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others before him.
Outside.
Sherry McGee. Gabby Kravitz did it twice.
Gabby Kravitz.
Denny Southern also did it. Dick Bartell did it.
The rain increases in velocity. Fouled away again. Still 2-2. Big John McSherry, who looks good. He's lost a lot of weight. He's the crew chief, and it's going to be his decision to make when and if this thing is halted. Started to go. They asked for help. Nope. Marvin ready to go to work. Morandini waits. He's run it full now, 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 6th in New York, and the Mets lead the Reds 5-3. Funny, they're only 100 miles away, and they've had no rain delay at all. Runner goes to third. There are 2 out. And Chamberlain will be the batter.
That's what they like about Morandini here in Philadelphia. A lot like the Braves' Terry Pendleton. It seems that every at-bat, he's a very good situational hitter. Even if he makes an out, he will move the runner over to third, as he just did. Good bunter. He showed us that in the first inning.
So a couple of old pals face one another here, just like the playgrounds in Chicago. Chamberlain and Freeman. Strike on the outside edge, 0-1.
He not only hits a little like Gary Matthews, he looks a little like Gary Matthews.
Except he's a little bigger. He went. And the count is 0-2. Runner at third, 2 down. Chamberlain, another one of these guys that's got that sculpted body, never been a weightlifter. Sit-ups and push-ups. The rain has slowed again. The pitch struck him out with a breaking ball, and the inning is over. So Freeman wins that battle, records his second strikeout, 1 hit. No runs, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 4, the Phils still lead 5-1.
This is Lipton tea time. This is the taste. This is the cool of a satisfied face. This is refreshment that's one of a kind. This is Lipton tea time. So clean, so crisp, the taste sublime. This is Lipton tea time. Lipton.
At night, I soak my dentures. In the morning, I use toothpaste. At night, I soak.
Wake up. All you need is denture cream. In just 90 seconds, denture cream gets dentures nearly twice as clean. So why pay for 2 products? All you need is denture cream.
It is from Kodak. It is for the advanced photographer. It delivers the highest resolution. Microfine grain. Superior image structure. It is called Ektar. Sounds like the most impressive color print film ever made? It is. Ektar film by Kodak. The genius is in the details.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by Ektar Film from Kodak. For advanced photographers, the genius is in the details.
Quick look at National League scores while they mop up around home plate. Houston, Montreal, the Astros leading it. Gerald Young, a home run, his first. They're in the 7th. Howard Johnson's grand slam has the Mets out ahead. The other 3 games start later. Pittsburgh at San Diego. The Cubs and Dodgers meet again. So do the Cardinals and Giants.
The rain has just about stopped again. So we play on into the 5th inning, and Terry Pendleton leads it off. One ball, no strikes. Jose De Jesus delivers, and he rips it foul. Boy, he just about got himself. First base umpire Bob Davidson. Dale Murphy makes yet another friend as he flips the ball into the seats.
You can see Davidson's reaction. He almost got hit by this one. Had a little hook to it. He didn't know which way to go. Look at that. Started to the left, then ducked right, and then had to make the call.
Pitch to Pendleton is a strike, and it's 1-2. He was out in front of a change. A ball and 2 strikes. Peter Smith knocked out in the 1st inning. He got only 1 out, gave up 4 runs. Started to go, and the pitch was in the dirt. He held off, and it's 2-2. Part of the order for Atlanta here: Pendleton, Gant, and Justice, the first 3. If the Phils can get 3 more outs, it makes this an official game. If Philadelphia still has the lead. Little tap out in front of the plate. Dalton, post play, got him. 1 down. Ronnie Gant will be the batter.
He really had to muscle up on the throw. This ball got out in front of the plate a little further, I think, than Dalton thought he was going to have to go for it. And by the time he got set to throw, it was a close play at first.
Breaking ball is low. Sid Bream did re-injure his right knee. May be looked at by an orthopedist tomorrow. It's not considered serious. He is, they say, day to day. The pitch lined hard down the left field line, but foul.
No, it could be, and this happens a lot to players who have knee or elbow or shoulder problems and they've had surgery. Adhesions build up. Where the surgery was performed, those adhesions pop, and it's very, very painful, but not really serious. That might have been what happened to Bream there.
Gant takes a breaking ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Yeah, that happened to Lonnie Smith earlier this year. The wind, the pitch. Strike called at the knees. Gant didn't think so. Count evens 2-2.
Do you remember when it happened to Andy Messersmith while pitching a game? An adhesion popped in his elbow, and he was on the ground writhing in pain. Dave Pursley, the longtime Braves trainer, says he's never been more scared in his life. When he got out to the mound, he said, Messersmith grabbed my leg, and I couldn't get away from him. He was holding on so tightly. He was in so much pain.
The 2-2 curve, broken bat, tap to third. Backman throws low. Kruk dug it out. 2 down.
Show you the American League scores before the next hitter steps in. They're still waiting out the rain in Baltimore. Seattle, Boston are in the 7th. Danny Darwin pitching tonight for the Red Sox. No score yet in Detroit. Welch against Tanana. Yankees have a 3-2 lead over Detroit. Cleveland a 3-2 lead over Chicago. Then Milwaukee got all 7 of their runs in the 1st inning. And Texas leads Kansas City early.
David Justice bats with 2 out. Breaking ball is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Justice wants a look at the baseball. Tom Hellion obliges. Danny Cox, just off the disabled list, gets a start tomorrow. Rather, day after tomorrow. For the Phillies here when the Astros come to town. Swung and missed the fastball. It's 1-1. There's Danny. He had arm problem after arm problem, then came off the list earlier this year, pitched well, and pulled a leg muscle. Ground ball, just fouled on the first base line. So the count goes to 1-2, and Dale Murphy tried to make another friend, but the fan dropped the ball. So the ball girl gives it to a youngster. That's good PR.
See, Dale figures every one of those baseballs is worth a whole family's All-Star votes. That used to be his favorite phrase every time he'd sign a couple of autographs. Work on those All-Star votes, buddies.
The wind, the pitch. Let up, got it. It is now an official ball game. Nothing doing in the fifth. We go to the bottom half, and the Phillies lead 5-1.
Over the years, a number of rare sightings have been captured on film. But recently, something truly remarkable appeared. This is actual footage of a Daihatsu Rocky Wide-Track 4x4 from Japan. Each new sighting reveals that it possesses extraordinary quality. If you haven't seen a Rocky Wide-Track 4x4 yet, remember that Daihatsu, it's not how many they make, it's how they make them. Daihatsu.
Enter World Championship Wrestling Splash and Bash sweepstakes and win fabulous prizes. To find out how to enter, watch any WCW TV show June 1st through 23rd. And don't miss the Great American Bash, live only on pay-per-view, Sunday, July 14th.
Freedom's the one.
Only one gum leads the way when you've got dental work, and that's Freedent. Freedent won't stick to your dental work, so you can be confident chewing it. And because it also moistens your mouth and freshens your breath, Freedent's in a class by itself.
Freedom's the one that took the stick out of gum, and Freedom moistens your mouth. Yeah, moistens your mouth and freshens your breath while you chew.
Non-stick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
Yeah, I love it. That's the color.
It's perfect. You like it?
I love it.
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
Well, we mentioned it earlier when the salute went up on the message board here at the Vets in Philadelphia, and now he's joined us live. Congratulations to Don Sutton, the anniversary of your 300th career win.
Thank you, Pete. That brought back some great memories. I was watching the replay of the last out, and I got to admit, I got goosebumps about this big. That was a lot of fun. John Kruk will lead it off. Kruk right in the middle of all the undoings, or doings, if you so choose to call it, in the first inning for Peter Smith. Kruk got the fourth consecutive hit, a single. 2-0 now. John grounded out his only other at bat. He's 1 for 2. Outside, it's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Pete Smith started it, his shortest outing of the year and possibly the shortest outing of his career, a third of an inning. That's in there. It's 3-1. He was followed by Rick Mailer and now Marvin Freeman. Got so many things flash back in my mind when I watched that last out. Swung out and misses 3-2. And Bob Boone hold the ball there and Gary Ward get the check swing. And I don't know, it's a much more emotional moment now watching it than it was then. It's exciting.
Did you get it your first try for 300?
No, the second try. On the ground, that's foul. It's still 3-2. Interesting story. Gene Mauch, and you know I think very highly of the man. I pitched on Saturday against Kansas City and came out tied. I think it was 3-3. He called me in his office after the game. He said, I've been doing some thinking. And when Mauch thinks, he thinks. Again, the 3-2. That's ball 4. Kruk draws a leadoff walk here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Dale Murphy. He said, I've been thinking. He said, it's a day game here Saturday. We're over kind of quickly. If I bring you back on Wednesday, you will have 4 hours less rest than if I pitched you on a normal 5-day rotation. And besides, we go on the road Thursday, and you'd have to pitch in Kansas. I'd rather have you. Okay, Chief, you got it. Dale's 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's grounded to short. First one, Freeman misses inside. It's 1-0. Murph leads the Phils in homers. His 10 does that. He's second on the Phils in RBIs. He has 30. John Kruk at first. In there, the off-speed pitch catches the corner. It's 1-1. Dale's average pushed up to 262. And did he hit a tee shot or what last night? Gee, somewhere estimated around 435 feet. There goes Kruk. They're playing hit and run. Boy, here is another one. To quote an old pal, how far will it go? Rodale gets his 11th. RBIs 31 and 32, and the Phils lead it 7-1.
That is his 4th homer in the last 11 games. This one hit high in the air, one of those majestic Murphy home runs that carried a long way over the left field wall. He said he has mixed emotions when playing against the Braves. I bet a lot of Braves fans watching have mixed emotions when they see Murphy hit one out. They want to see the Braves win, but if that's the guy that beat you, you kind of have to sit back a little bit and say, well, so be it.
You'd like to admire the swing. Dalton is the hitter. It's 2-0 to Darren Dalton. You want to admire the swing in the homer, but you hope it falls one short of tying the Braves. You'd like to see the Braves win, and Murph hit a couple of those. It's 2-0 to Darren Dalton. Chases a bad one. It's 2-1. Murph 11 away from the 400 mark in homers. That's 389.
Tied with Johnny Bench on the all-time list now.
That's pretty good company. On the ground, but foul. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton. Just activated today. Been experiencing some problems since he was involved in the accident with Lenny Dykstra. Stiff neck, blurred vision. Outside with a split finger, it's 3-2 to Dalton. Dalton, born in Arkansas City, Kansas. On the ground, Hunter will play it and not be able to handle it. That's the first error of the evening for the Braves. It'll put a runner at first.
Dalton runs pretty well for a catcher. It was going to be a close play at first if he makes the play cleanly. I think he was so intent on hurrying that throw over to first, he never found the handle on it. He makes the play in good shape. It's while he's trying to get the ball out of the glove to throw that he dropped it.
That's Brian Hunter's 4th error since being called up from Richmond. The other 3 of the throwing variety. That's the first one he's really booted fielding. Phils keep it going here in the 5th inning. Dalton is at first, and here's Sil Campusano. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-0. One of the heroes last night, not with his bat, but with a great defensive play that he made, throwing out Tommy Gregg at home plate. Outside, 2-0. Got his first hit of the year tonight in the 1st inning. He had gone 0 for 10 since the beginning of the year. Chopped on the ground foul. It's 2-1. 7 runs and 9 hits for the Phils. The Braves have 4 hits, only 1 run.
And here comes the rain again.
You probably told the folks that 40 minutes before game time, you wouldn't given a chance that we would have played this one. To center field, not too deep. Gant was positioned perfectly. He'll haul it in. That's the first out of the inning.
It's one of those days on the road that Fans wonder what players do with all that dead time during the day. Well, a lot of them go out and take a little walk or shop or something like that. Some of us hit an occasional golf course. Today, there was nothing to do. It was pouring rain outside. There was no place you could go.
Write letters, update your scorebook, and talk on the phone.
About it.
Here's Booker. He takes the first one. It's there. Oh, and 1 to Booker. On the ground toward second. Treadway will get the leading runner. A nice play by Blauser to hang in there. It's a fielder's choice for Booker.
And Blauser does a good job holding on here because Booker went in pretty good down at second base. The throw a little bit low. You see what Jeff did there? It looked like he wasn't sure if he'd get to the bag or not, so he reached down with his glove to tag him. He wanted to get out of the way. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to hold the bag.
He may have thought he had gone beyond the bag when he got the ball. Here's DeJesus. Big swing, comes up empty. No balls and 1 strike. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 more in the fifth. That's the scoring for the Phillies. DeJesus not an automatic out. He has 4 hits. A looper foul. It's 0-2. And the umpire gets a fan. No balls and 2 strikes. Inside, 1-2. DeJesus has won his last 2. He beat Cincinnati on the 8th. Came back 5 days later and beat Houston, going 7 innings in each of those. A little bit low. It's 2-2.
And those 2 starts came after being exiled to the bullpen for a couple of appearances, taken out of the rotation for a brief time.
That one is high, but it seems kind of hard to throw a pitch high to this guy. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Freeman had him 0-2, but has quickly fallen to 3-2. Stays alive, still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Born in Brooklyn, New York, was DeJesus.
This is a real hack, this swing.
What's that say? Only his heart was still in there? That'll do it this time. He comes up empty on that one. And Freeman finally restores order, but the Phils pick up 2 on the Murphy home run. As we head to the top of the 6th, Phils lead it 7-1.
Attention! Company! Dismiss!
The people of Delta would like to recognize the sacrifice made by our armed forces and their families.
We do have a special military fare.
Now, with our welcome home fares, active military personnel and their eligible family dependents can travel to USA for 70% less.
Albuquerque, New Mexico? Is that your hometown?
That's right, ma'am. I'm going home.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Before the last fight, Mike Tyson told everybody he was going to destroy Razor Ruddock. He didn't. He told the world he was going to take Ruddock out early and that Ruddock would be humiliated. He didn't come close. So maybe this time he should tell Razor Ruddock. Tyson versus Ruddock, the rematch. Live from the Mirage, June 28th. See it on pay-per-view TV. Call your local cable company now.
We invested $100 million in the latest diagnostic equipment. And another $5 million a year training our expert technicians to use it. We are Goodyear certified auto service retailers, and we believe everything we do, from tires to tune-ups, should live up to the most exacting standards of all. Yours and ours. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
There's your score as we move to the top half of the 6th inning. Well, we figured since the fans here at the ballpark at the Vet got a chance to see this, you should at home, too. June 18th, 5 years ago tonight. That was win number 300. And you're right, those are big goosebumps.
That's so big. Oh, my. It's probably about as much emotion as you will have ever seen in a ball game, but it's over. We can enjoy it. Ken Nolan and Lonnie Dale, thank you very much for chasing that memory down. Let me enjoy it again. Here's Brian Hunter. You may have to do a half an inning here till we regroup. Deep to left field, but foul. 7-1 Phil as we begin play in the top of the 6th inning. For Hunter, this will be his first swing. He came on the run for Sid Breen when Sid came up lame going into 3rd back in the 4th inning. That's in there. 1-2.
Not many players around that still wear their socks like Brian Hunter, are there?
You know, in college, I went over and watched my son play over in Montgomery. On the ground, toward short. Booker, the long throw, on time. That'll do it for Hunter. 1 gone. I went over to a lot of college kids were wearing, and Dave Justice in spring training was wearing. But you see a lot of the kids coming into baseball now out of college. That seems to be the style now in college.
Well, they used to wear them like that back in the 50s. Then the young players came along, and they decided to change the style, and they all wore it where you could hardly see anything but the little strip down the side. And that was the fashion for a long time. And now the young kids are coming along, trying to change things again. They're going right back. It comes back. It always comes back.
That's why I hang on to my clothes. I know that sooner or later they'll be in style. Here's Jeff Treadway. He's perfect tonight, a pair of doubles. Skies this one to right. It should be an easy play for Dale Murphy. Up in the raindrops, it is an easy play. So the Phils finally retired Treadway. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Greg Olson.
Mike Stanton up now in the Atlanta pen. That's 7 straight retired now by De Jesus.
It's getting close to All-Star time. You know, the balloting is out. Be sure and punch out ballots for your favorite players. Ryne Sandberg continues to lead all the National League vote getters. He's registered close to 1 million votes already. Still a couple more weeks to go in the balloting, too. Olson goes after the first one, comes up empty. It's 0-1. And Rob Dibble had a couple of more days of meetings with Bill White, league president, over his appeal of 3 pending fines and suspensions. That decision won't be made for another couple of weeks, said Bill White, or maybe for a week or so. 1-1 to Olson. Breaking ball is in there. It's 1-2. And certainly we want to send along our good wishes and our prayers to Dave Dravecki. He underwent surgery today. It wasn't disclosed if they had to amputate that left arm or not, but he is a battler and a great guy, and we wish him well, a speedy recovery. Olson goes on strike. DeJesus is set down 8 in a row. Braves go 1-2-3 here in the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom. They'll still lead it 7-1.
Wednesday night only. TBS takes you to a city transformed. Don't miss an international collision of the sport's biggest stars. Flair, Sting, Luger, the Steiners, and the triumphant return of the Great Muta. 9 bone-crushing matches in all. This summer's premier wrestling event is Clash of the Champions 15, Knoxville, USA. Wednesday night at 10:35 Eastern, exclusively on TBS.
Why can't they just love us for our minds?
Try Bud Dry. It's dry brewed, not watered down, to drink light yet satisfy completely. In fact, refreshment like this is almost...
Television's best sports team is now the first word in sports. Nick and Fred are moving up to a new time, 11 p.m. Eastern. CNN Sports Tonight, the first word in sports.
I smoke, but with my kids in the car, smoking's curbed. No big deal. I've got Wrigley Spearmint Gum. That cool, clean taste is a family favorite. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Yep, it's still raining a little bit here. Not enough for the game to be stopped, only slightly sprinkling. It's done that off and on since we began the game right at 8 o'clock. Might be one of those nights where the Braves wish the downpour had continued. They trail it 7-1 as the Phils come to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Phils have put runs on the board in the 1st, 2nd, and the 5th inning. A 4 spot in the 1st inning put the Braves behind the 8 ball. And here's Wally Backman. He and Jeff Treadway trying to see who can out-double the other. Looks like the Braves might get him out. Treadway will throw him out. 1 gone. And here's Morandini. He was in the middle of things in the 1st inning, too. He followed Backman's double with a bunt single. Since then, he is grounded to short and grounded to 2nd. 1 for 3, and at 264 as he stands in there. Freeman's forkball, or split finger, drops in there for strike 1. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-1. I think the Braves have a cheering section out in right field, Pete. That's fouled away.
Yeah, they do. That's the group that sang the national anthem tonight. They're from Albany, Georgia. The Hosanna Choir. Danny Key is their director. They did a nice job in the anthem, and they're rooting for the Braves out in the right field seats.
They did a great job in the anthem. When you go on the road, it's awfully nice to see maybe not familiar faces, but people who speak the same language you do and down home singing the national anthem. There's a look at them. They're probably touring here, but they did one heck of a job with the anthem. Outside, it's 3-2 to Morandini. On the ground to Hunter. He'll play the short hop and kick it. That's 2 for Brian Hunter. 5 for the year.
Yeah, he has struggled defensively. Remember, he wasn't playing any first base at Richmond this year. He was playing out in left field because Mike Bell had the first baseman's job. He did play first base earlier in his career.
Tried to play the short hop.
And he may have had very little experience ever playing first base on turf, where the ball takes a little bit of a different hop than it does on grass.
The air puts Morandini at first. It'll bring up Chamberlain. Foul straight back. It's 0-1. Chamberlain single in the 1st, single in the 2nd. Struck out in the 4th. These two know each other. They both grew up in Chicago. Were friendly rivals when they were playing in Chicago. As a matter of fact, they ended up going to the same college, Jackson State University, down in Jackson, Mississippi. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Graduate of Simeon High School, where he was a basketball as well as a baseball star. All Southwest Athletic Conference in baseball as a shortstop at Jackson State. Skied to left field. Blauser, Pendleton, Nixon giving chase. Nobody can get to it. Another breath of life for Wes Chamberlain.
It's a tricky corner at the vet here in Philadelphia. You always have to be aware. You can see Pendleton looking right there, trying to see how far away he was from that front row of box seats. They jut right out close to the foul line here.
A long run for Pendleton. And not an easy run, too, Pete. Once you come off that infield behind the white line, The infield itself was covered, but that's been saturated down there, so you've got to kind of tread lightly on this turf when you're running. We've seen a couple of balls skip off of it, like throwing rocks across a lake. Still 0-2 to Chamberlain. Swung on and missed. It'll get past Olson. He'll track it down, and since first was occupied, he is out. That's strikeout number 3 for Marvin Freeman.
And the pitch was in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch, enabling Mickey Morandini to get down to second base. But since first base was occupied, no chance for Chamberlain to reach. Unoccupied, he would have made it.
To make that strikeout number 4, he has gotten Chamberlain twice, his old pal from high school. He has also gotten DeJesus twice. And here's John Kruk. Kruk has single, walk, rounded out. He has scored 2. In there, strike 1. Milwaukee got 7 in the first against California. California has answered with 5 in the 5th. He has made the best of the long ball when he's had men in scoring position and 2 outs. Outside, 1-1.
I've got to disagree with the official score on his call. He ruled out a pass ball on strike 3. That pitch was in the dirt.
I hope he'll review the tape and take a look at it. 1-1 to Kruk.
He just reviewed the tape and changed it. It is a wild pitch.
7-1 Phils. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning from the vet in Philadelphia. Pete Van Weeren, Don Sutton. Glad you're spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. That's in the dirt, backhanded by Olson. It's 2-1. Pete, does it appear to you that Freeman is going to that split finger more tonight than we've seen him throw it before?
Yeah, it does. And we even noticed the other day when Charlie Leibrandt was warming up down in the Braves bullpen. Leo Mazzoni had Freeman along with a couple of other pitchers down there watching Charlie's pattern of warm-ups. He throws a lot of off-speed pitches, not a split finger necessarily, but they're trying to get Marvin to get another pitch besides the fastball and a hard slider.
There's the fastball. It is drilled to center. Gant will glove it. His throw to the plate will be too late to get Morandini. It's 8-1 Phils.
Well, this has just been Philadelphia's night. Pitch was out over the plate a little bit. And John Kruk drives in his 3rd run of the night, 44th run of the year, as the Phillies up their lead to 8-1.
And here's Dale Murphy. Murph struck out in the first. He grounded to short in the second, but he unloaded in the 5th inning off Marvin Freeman. His 11th homer of the year. He now has 32 RBIs. Outside, 1-0.
John Kruk with runners in scoring position, now hitting .342. That tells you a little bit about how he delivers in the clutch.
Murphy is now 13 out of his last 37. In that time, he's had 4 homers and 7 RBIs. There's the slider. It's a strike, 1-1.
Well, you know this about him because you had to pitch against him. There are times when he will absolutely carry a club for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. He just can't get him out. He might be getting into one of those stretches. In fact, I would say he is in one now.
Fouls away the high breaking ball. It's 1-2. Last night's home run for Murph, a significant one, because up until that time he had homered against every club in the National League except his old teammates. And he's hitting over .330 here at Veterans Stadium. He's gone. The slider gets him, but not before the Phils take advantage of an error and a base hit. Add one more to the list. At the end of 6, they now lead the Braves 8-1.
That's nice.
looked so hot yourself a few months ago.
When the medical crisis is gone, the bills should be too. Aflac Supplemental Insurance helps close the gaps in your health insurance, like deductibles, co-payments. Aflac lets you get on with your life.
Grandpa came through a lot to see you.
She's my girl. Life supplies the surprises. Aflac supplies the peace of mind.
Champagne.
I just read something new. If your athlete's foot won't go away, you could have more than athlete's foot. You could also have a secondary yeast infection. That's right, yeast. It burns and itches just like athlete's foot. To solve this problem, you need Mycotin.
Only Mycotin cures both athlete's foot and secondary yeast infections with Myconazole.
Oh, thanks.
So why treat only half your problem?
Step up to the cure. Step up to the Mycotin.
There's your score as we move to the top half of the seventh. Tonight's question of the night comes from Jim Chris in Blacksburg, Virginia. During an intentional walk, can a player be positioned behind the catcher to protect against a wild pitch? Well, no, he can't. You've got to have all the rest of your players in fair territory. And we had a case earlier this year against the Phillies. Jason Grimsley, a wild pitch during an intentional walk to a Braves hitter.
Phils make one defensive change. Charlie Hayes has come on to play third. That'll do it for Wally Backman tonight. A good night for him, 3 doubles. And Blauser will lead off the 7th inning for the Braves. Jeff came on to pinch hit in the 4th inning for Belliard and delivered a single. He drove home the only Braves runner of the night. Outside, it's 2-0 to Blauser. DeJesus is one of those who, with just a little bit more control, Blauser fouls the high one back. It's 2-1. Would be just wild enough to be effective, but now he has had 2 good outings in a row. But now when you look at his numbers, in 52 innings coming into tonight, he had walked 45. He had struck out 30. He has reversed that a little bit tonight. But a pitcher who is kind of just a little bit wild, the batters never settle in. But if you're going to be just wild enough to be effective, you have to be able to drop a couple of pitches in there, a couple of different pitches for strikes every now and then. Skied back toward the screen. Dalton will give chase back near the on-deck circle, and he'll glove it. So Blauser's gone. And Mark Lemke is going to come on to pinch hit for Marvin Freeman.
Mike Stanton will be the next Braves pitcher. He's up again in the bullpen.
There you see Lemke's average. And for Mark, this is the 12th time he will have been called on to pinch hit. He's 3 for 11. That's 273. Waste no time. Goes after the first one. Way up the chute near second base, where Morandini will grab it. So on one pitch, DeJesus sets down Lemke. That's 10 in a row set down by DeJesus. We'll go to the top of the order. Here's Otis Nixon. Otis is 0 for 3. He is grounded to third, grounded to short, and popped to shallow left. Had himself a thrill yesterday. Obviously on Sunday, stealing 6 bases would be a thrill, but there's a little town in upstate New York called Cooperstown that called down and said, we'd like to have your shoes from that day to go into the Hall of Fame. I was talking to him about it before the game, and he said, yes, it is quite a thrill. So congratulations to Otis Nixon. That's 3-0, though. He might have a few more pairs go up there before he's through.
You see, he said his goal has always been to steal 10 in one game.
That's strike one. 3-1. 3 base hits, 2 walks. He's got a shot at it. There's the line on DeJesus. His base on balls total down tonight. Nixon swings through the fastball. The count's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, ever since the 4th inning, the last walk that he issued was to Greg Olson back then. He's been ahead of almost every hitter, unlike the first 3 1/3 where he was getting behind everybody.
Here's the 3-2 to Nixon. Flicked away down the left field line. He'll stay alive. Try it again. It's 3-2. You notice how he wears his hat, DeJesus? That's compliments of Jim Fregosi, who was working as the minor league roving pitching instructor. He was trying to get DeJesus just to focus on the catcher and not worry about who's hitting. So DeJesus started pulling his hat down lower and lower, and sometimes he couldn't tell Fregosi who the batter was. Off the fist, but Campusano is there. And that'll do it for Nixon. That'll do it for the Braves in the 7th. They go quietly, 1, 2, 3. 11 in a row set down by DeJesus. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Phil's comfortably ahead, 8-1.
Yeah, I love it. That's the color.
It's perfect. You like it?
I love it.
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created a car polish so technologically advanced, one application lasts an entire year. Introducing Finish 2001, the car polish you use only once every 12 months. This old car's been badly neglected. Its finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 with its urethane formula safely brings back the showroom shine, a rich, deep gloss shine that lasts an entire year. We tested Finish 2001 against other leading polishes, even some that claim to protect your car against fire or against acid. And the test results? Nothing, but nothing protects or shines better than Finish 2001, the 12-month car polish with a 100% money-back guarantee.
Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
Attention, advanced photographers. You're witnessing something never possible before. The miracle of microfine grain for the sharpest detail in color print film. Kodak presents Ektar Film.
Eight 8-1 Phils as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. Dalton, Campusano, and Booker, first 3 due up. Word out of Anaheim, the California Angels today announced that lefty Fernando Valenzuela will take medication for his heart ailment, and he could be back on the mound by next week. You'll recall last week he was placed on a 15-day DL after the normal, typical tests that he took, the physical that he took for the Angels, showed some possible cardiac vessel abnormalities. But they ran some more tests. They found out no narrowing or hardening of the arteries. Surgery is not necessary. They'll check up on him periodically, but that's good news. He's a good guy, and glad to see him back pitching. He's one of us, Pete. He likes to play golf. Here's Mike Stanton. He's the new pitcher for the Braves. Braves have used Smith, Mailer, and Freeman. There you see Stanton's numbers. And for Mike, this will be his 28th appearance in the year. Here's Darren Dalton. He has walked, he has struck out, he has been on an error. 0 for 3, the average at 175. No homers, 8 RBIs. He has battled vision problems and a stiff neck ever since being involved in the automobile accident with Lenny Dykstra. Stanton's first one through the heart, strike 1. Dalton picked last year to have the best year of his career. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-1. Last year hit .268, 12 homers. Only struck out 72 times in close to 500 at-bats. And since it was his free agent year, he was amply rewarded. This time the breaking ball catches the corner. It's 1-2. signed a 3-year contract the end of October last year. At a time when it's awfully hard to find good catchers, Phillies thought they better latch on to him. He'll come up empty on this one. Stanton comes on, gets a strikeout.
Want to remind you, coming up next on TBS, the motion picture The Stalking Moon. It stars Gregory Peck and Eva Marie Saint. That'll be coming up right after our game. Here's what it's about. An Army scout helps a white woman who has lived with the Apaches escape with her young half-breed son while the boy's father comes after them.
And they live on a ranch happily ever after. Here's Sil Campusano. Got his first hit of the year. It was a big one. Drove in a run. First inning. Since then, he has twice flied to center. Stanton misses away. It's 1-0. Fouls this one away. It's 1-1. Drills the breaking ball deep to left field. Nixon will hold up on the warning track. That ball didn't travel as far as it looked like it was going to. Got a lot of it, but not enough. 2 gone.
And you saw Campusano sort of angrily throw his bat away after that at bat, and you may wonder why. Hit that ball pretty well all the way to the warning track. He's probably one of those guys that knows he doesn't have home run power, wants to hit the ball on the ground or line drives, does not want to hit the ball in the air, and even though he got pretty good wood on that ball, he knew it was going to be an out.
He got a pitch to hit, and like you say, he's shaking his head. Yeah, I got a pitch to hit, but took the wrong swing with it. The first one to Booker is through the heart, strike 1, and he is still upset about that. Got a hanging breaking ball. Instead of trying to drive it somewhere, tried to lift it and hit it out of the park. This one is to center, not too deep. Gant positioned perfectly, a couple of steps over to his left. And that'll do it for the Phils. It's an easy inning for Mike Stanton. Phillies go in order, 1, 2, 3 in the 7th inning. But as the Braves head in the 8th, they're down by 7.
This is Lipton's tea time. This is the taste. This is the cool of a satisfied face. This is refreshment that's one of a kind. This is Lipton tea time. So clean, so crisp, the taste sublime. This is Lipton tea time. Lipton.
We say no to flimsy. So first of all, we start with a heart of solid brass, which gives Price Pfister faucets every advantage. Solid brass is favored by people in the know, since it's far stronger and lasts longer. Yet our affordability never fails to surprise. So look into and under a Price Pfister, the fabulous faucet with a funny name.
Here's a look at our Delta scoreboard. They like extra innings, Houston and Montreal. They're going into the 10th now, all tied at 2. Likewise in New York, Cincinnati got on the board first with 2 in the first, but the Mets came back with 1 in the second, 4 in the third. Cincy has now tied it there in the 8th. Pittsburgh at San Diego, Cubs at L.A., St. Louis at San Francisco, all later. Over in the American League, Minnesota looks like they're going to start it up again. They got them early, 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They lead Baltimore 6-0. Boston got 1 in the 5th inning. It is still holding up. It has been Darwin, Fosis, and Reardon. They lead it 1-0. Detroit 2-0 over Oakland. Frank Tanana pitching that shutout. He's besting Bob Welch. The Yankees over Toronto 3-2. John Habian is now on for the Yankees, and Dwayne Ward is in for Toronto. Cleveland and Chicago, they're slugging it out. It's 6-4. Likewise, Milwaukee over California, 9-5. They're in the 5th inning in Arlington. Kansas City, Texas both scored in the first. They both scored in the first. 5th, it's 5-5. For all the scores and the highlights, tune in to CNN Sports Tonight at 11:30 Eastern. Fred Hickman and Nick Charles. Now to take you the rest of the way. Once again, it's Pete Van Weeren.
Okay, thank you, Don. Terry Pendleton 0 for 3. Took a strike from DeJesus. By getting into the 8th inning, he has lasted longer in this start than any of his previous starts this year. He did have a complete game shutout against the Mets last year. Here's the 0-1. Missing low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Jim Fregosi has to be a little pleased with the progress that DeJesus has shown after his demotion of the bullpen. He has come back and gone 7 innings against the Reds, gave up 1 run, went 7 against Houston, gave up 2 earned runs, and has given up only a run and 4 hits through 7 tonight.
Well, when they got him from Kansas City near the end of spring training last year, 1990, they liked his arm, but like Kansas City were a little wary of his control. Fregosi, for him, he was a pet project because Jim last year spent part of the year and part of this year as a roving pitching instructor.
Here's the 2-1 now to Pendleton. Still has plenty of juice on that fastball. 2-2. Ronnie Gant waits to hit next. DeJesus with the 2-2. Bounce to the second baseman, Morandini. 1 gone in the 8th inning.
Well, Pete, you mentioned his pet project here and how pleased he has to be with DeJesus, but look what he's had to put up with. Well, this may have been what got Nick Leyva out of here, but look what the 2 of them have had to put up with here. Bad month in April, sparkling in May, and then in June, struggling again.
Now, right now, this guy's on a roll. DeJesus retiring 12 in a row after getting Pendleton. Here's Ronnie Gant, who's walked, flied out, and grounded out, taking ball 1. 8-1. Phillies lead it. Braves in danger of losing their 5th consecutive game. Into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit for Ronnie Gant. Only the 5th hit of the night off of DeJesus.
Darren Daulton's trying to waltz him through the 8th and 9th inning, getting him to change speeds, take a little off. That was his off-speed pitch. Not a bad pitch, but he left it belt high out over the plate. And when you're a struggling hitter, as Gant has been, boy, your eyes light up when you see those high change-ups.
David Justice has had no luck with DeJesus tonight. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to first. They're not holding Gant. Ball 1, the count on Justice. 8-10-0 for the Phillies, 1-5-2 for the Braves. We're in the 8th inning. Tomorrow afternoon, the finale of this series, Tom Glavine against Terry Mulholland. It's a 12:30 Eastern Time start on TBS. Then back home against the Mets Thursday. There's a strike inside corner, 1-1. Gooden against Smoltz Thursday night.
This is a kind of ball game where if you're a catcher or pitching coach and you have a guy like DeJesus with his ability, you can work on some things. You can see Daulton calling the changeup behind, the breaking ball behind in the count.
2-1 the count now.
And the question that you have coming out of it is, will the lesson take? A lot of times a guy will just remember he won the ball game. He won't remember how easy it was to throw a breaking ball behind 1-0 and get it in there. So the next time he's in a 2-0 ball game, the lesson is lost.
And in this game, we pointed this out early. The first time around the order, Braves were seeing a lot of first ball fastballs. Second time around the order, he was throwing a lot of breaking balls to Braves hitters.
Third time through, you can't set on either one. But the key is it's a good time for him to learn a lesson if the lesson will take, because what you can do to win 8-1, you can do to win 2-0.
That is ball 4, low and inside to Justice. And the Braves trying to make some noise here in the 8th. Runners first and second now with 1 out for Brian Hunter. That's the 4th walk of the night issued by DeJesus, but the first he's given up since the 4th inning, and that's going to get the Phillies bullpen up.
And I think that's a good move, Pete. He's taken him into the 8th inning. He has 1 out here. They're going to be patient with this youngster. He's only 26 years old, and they want him to get better and better. So he's got you an 8-1 win. Let him come out of this with something positive to build on, not maybe a 3-run homer. So the first chance you have to get him out now, I'd do it.
And you saw Joe Baver getting up in the Philadelphia bullpen. Line down the left field line by Brian Hunter. That's a fair ball into the corner. Ronnie Gant's going to score. Justice moves toward third. He'll hold up there, and down at second with a run-scoring double, Brian Hunter. That makes it 8-2. Hunter's first major league double. He drives in his 5th run.
Back to the pattern of early in the ball game. Get that first pitch fastball in there, and that is right in Hunter's wheel. You could see it hydroplaning as it goes down the wet turf. An easy double for Hunter.
Well, here's Jeff Treadway, who has doubled twice tonight. He's also flying out to right. He takes the off-speed pitch, low and inside, ball one.
You know what I'd be tempted to do now if I were a pitching coach or manager? If he gets Jeff Treadway out, and if you're thinking if he gives one more hit, you're going to take him out, I'd take him out after an out.
Into left field. Base hit for Treadway. 2 runs will score. And the Braves are back to within 4 now. It's 8-4. Treadway driving in his 12th and 13th runs of the year. He's 3 for 4 tonight.
Jeff going the other way. He is vastly underrated as a hitter. We don't talk about his numbers enough or his ability to go the other way. Takes this pitch the other way, singles nicely. Braves may not be out of it now. Jim Fragosi's going to make the move, but I believe the lesson has been lost.
Because of this inning.
This inning, he's going to forget what he did to get him to the 8th with an 8-1 lead. You're better off taking a youngster out 1 or 2 hitters too soon than you are leaving him out there like this. He'll probably get the win, but he lost the lesson.
And he leaves the game for Joe Baver, who'll make his way in from the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. To Jesus, working 7 1/3. He has given up 7 hits, 4 runs now. The runner at first, Jeff Treadway, is his responsibility. He walked 4, and he struck out 5. He gets the glad hand all around in the Phillies dugout. And now we'll see if the Philadelphia bullpen can preserve this lead for De Jesus.
There are chances worth taking, and some that are not. If a chance is worth taking, it's worth my best shot. So this time I'll play it safeguard. This time I'll play it safeguard.
The antibacterial lather in Safeguard gives you more deodorant protection than you may need from your soap. But a little insurance never hurts.
This time I'll play it safeguard.
Born of the finest natural ingredients, then brewed and aged with extra care for that clean, crisp, cold taste. The taste only Budweiser can deliver.
And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers.
The king of beers.
Nothing beats the Bud.
There's your score. The situation, 1 out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Jeff Treadway, the runner at first, the new Philadelphia pitcher, former Brave Joe Baver, his 32nd relief outing this year for the Phillies, a record of 3-5 with no saves. He's been used primarily as a middle and setup guy. And he'll be facing Greg Olson here with a runner at first and 1 out. And that group of youngsters from Albany, Georgia, still hopeful the Braves can pull this one out. They're down 8-4. Olson, a couple of walks and a strikeout tonight. Baver, another player in this series, and we've been able to say this about quite a few of them. He used to play for the other side. Ball 1 to Greg Olson. On the Phillies team, you've got Dale Murphy, of course, Tommy Green, who pitched last night, Joe Baver. And the Braves have former Phillies, Marvin Freeman, Lonnie Smith. Foul back by Olson. Pete Smith started out in the Phillies organization. 12,405. They paid attendance here tonight. A lot of folks stayed home because of all the rain all day long. And we've really been fortunate to get this game in because it was pouring in Philadelphia from early in the morning all day long. Here's the 1-1 now to Olson. Started to go. Checked his swing. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That evens the count on Olson. The on-deck hitter, Jeff Blauser. You get one more base runner. This gets a little interesting.
You can see we're a couple of times back, like in the 4th inning when the Braves had the bases loaded and 1 out.
High and deep to right field. Murphy back to the warning track, but he has room out there and makes the catch. Olson retired. Back to first goes Treadway. 2 outs now for Jeff Blauser. Yeah, the Braves had DeJesus on the ropes in the 4th inning. They had a run in, bases loaded, only 1 out. And he got off the hook. A little bit of a lucky break for him. That check swing by Tommy Gregg, which resulted in an infield pop out. And then he got Otis Nixon on the fly ball to left. Well, here's Blauser, who has singled in a run and fouled to the catcher. There you can see what he's done in his career against Joe Baver. Perfect. Didn't get the palm ball, 0-1. This is not a save situation for Baver. The lead too big when he ended the game. There's your runner at first, Treadway. And the count even now on Blauser. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is one of the reasons why the Braves' run production has been down on this road trip. 2-1 now on Blauser.
Blauser with Lonnie Smith waiting on deck to hit if he gets a chance. You have 2 guys who have been perfect again. Sorry to keep you up.
It has been a long night here at the vet with the rain delay at the outset. Having to climb up all those rows to get to your seat. Takes a little out of you, too, I guess. Here's the 2-1. Down the left field line, but that's foul, scattering a few folks. 2-2. Two men out, a runner at first, 8-4. Phillies lead it. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Pete Van Weer and Don Sutton with you. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, final game of this series, and back home for the 4-game series with the Mets starting Thursday night. And it's full now, 3-2 on Blauser. Baver basically a 2-pitch pitcher, fastballs and palm balls. The palm ball was not the result of a minor league coach working with him or a major league pitching coach working with him. His brother taught it to him when he was in the Little League. There goes the runner, the 3-2. He walked him. And now Lonnie Smith will hit with runners first and second and 2 outs.
And Lonnie's faced him once. Lonnie got a hit.
Lonnie on the year at .278 with a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs. He's been in a little bit of a slump on this road trip. Just 1 for his last 15. But a chance to do some damage here. First and second, 2 outs. Lonnie, who played on a World Series champion here in Philadelphia, also played on a World Series champion in St. Louis and in Kansas City. And Baver to Lonnie Smith. Little looper hit out toward the bag at second. Morandini is there for the catch, and the inning is over. So the Braves strike for 3 here in the top of the 8th, but Baver escapes further damage, and we go to the bottom half. It's 8-4 Phillies.
This 4th of July, find a Budman inside packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft.
Man, are we going to spend the 4th boxed up in here? No!
You could win one of thousands of prizes.
What kind of prizes you guys got?
I got a Jeep.
All right. Hey, I got a towel.
Oh.
Okay, I got a plan. Toss the towel in the Jeep and pick me up.
Uh-oh.
Hey, she got the Jeep. Okay, plan B. We raid the snack aisle.
Nothing beats a Bud
Man.
CNN, War in the Gulf, the one book to read on the Persian Gulf War. Join Captain Steve Tate as he scores the first aerial victory of Desert Storm.
I could see pieces of the airplane blowing up.
CNN, War in the Gulf, now at your local bookstore.
I smoke, but the only open table in this restaurant is in the no smoking section. My solution? The cool, clean taste of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. After dinner, it fills the bill. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
An earnest young singer named Headley interrupted his usual medley. A fire in my pants. Ooh, it feels like red ants, and it's leaving my crotch looking redly.
Crowex kills jock itch fungus.
I love it. I think he'll love it. He loves it!
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Braves still trail it by 4. Phillies coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. One more stop here, and then home for the Mets coming in. Some good promotions coming up. Friday night, it's MCI's Fabulous Fireworks following the game. And then Saturday night game, Jolly Ranchers Bat Night. First 15,000 kids 14 and under get one of the replicas of the Braves bats. And then Sunday, Dubuque Super Value Card Collectors Book Day. Still tickets available. There you see the numbers. If you're local in Atlanta, 249-6400. If you're out of town, the 1-800 number is 326-4000. The Mets are in for 4 starting Thursday night. All those games, Thursday and Friday is 7:40 game, 7:10 on Saturday, and then what time on Sunday, Pete?
2:10.
2:10.
Fifth pitcher of the night for Atlanta is Kent Merker. He gets to face Joe Baver, who's batting 1,000, folks. He's 1 for 1 this year. Merker making his 25th appearance, 2 and 3, 4 saves, a 2.25 earned run average. 0-2 the count on Joe Baver. I think he feels a little overmatched here. Look at that look at his face. Well, he got a piece of that one. Still nothing in 2. Phillies leading at 8-4.
It's not like when Bobby Wine used to throw to him in the 445 pitchers game.
No. But at the worst, he'll be hitting 500 after this at bat. Fouls off that one. Still 0-2. After Baver, Charlie Hayes, then Mickey Morandini. Mike Stanton worked 1 inning, got him out 1, 2, 3, recorded 1 strikeout. Out to second, Treadway on to first to retire Baver. So 1 gone on the bottom of the 8th. Now back to the top of the order. Charlie Hayes to bat for the first time. He's really been struggling with the bat this year, hitting just 194 with 5 homers and 21 runs driven in. That's our movie coming up right after the game, starring Gregory Peck and Eva Marie Saint. Hayes first at bat tonight. Actually, you look back at the performance by the Braves bullpen in this one. It hasn't been that bad since they had to take over so early. Braves bullpen came into this game with only 1 out in the first inning after Pete Smith was lifted. And they've allowed a total of 4 runs, 5 hits. When you're talking about that many innings out of the bullpen, that's not that bad a performance. 1 walk and 7 strikeouts for the guys in the pen tonight. 3-0 the count now on Charlie Hayes. Due up in the Braves half of the 9th inning. And their last shot at winning this one will be Otis Nixon, Terry Pendleton, Ronnie Gant, top of the order. Here's the 3-0 now to Hayes. Right through there for a called strike, 3-1. Caught the corner, full count, 3-2. And here's the payoff pitch now to Charlie Hayes. Foul back off the screen. Still a 3-2 count. Merker has not had as much of a chance to close or save ball games on this trip. That's been pretty much turned over to Juan Berenguer for now. Down the right side, slicing foul. That'll make it up into the seats. A lot depends on the team you're playing and what they have in the way of right-hand and left-hand hitters late in the ball game.
He struggled a little bit at home, too, and on the road in New York, not too much of a chance there to be involved in closing one. And then losing all 3 in Montreal. 2-1 ball game, Tom Glavine lost. And then the 2-0 ball game, Charlie Lebrun. On Sunday, there just wasn't a whole lot of chance for him to work on this road trip.
High and fairly deep to right field. Justice drifts back near the track. Now on the track, makes the catch, 2 down. Out number 2. And Mickey Morandini will be the hitter. Morandini tonight, 1 out of 4. Had a bunt single back in the first inning. He also reached on an error. He has scored 2 runs. Hey, you look back on Merker's last 5 weeks, only 1 save since May 11. But to keep him fresh, Bobby's had to use him several times in games like this.
I think it's good you explain that to folks watching, because you get a title of being a closer like a Merker and like a Berenguer, but you can't sit out there for 9 days and then be expected to come in and get 1 out to win a ball game or to save a ball game in the 9th inning.
Now, most relief pitchers have to get a lot of work. And if you don't have the situations to bring them in to save a ball game or hold a team where they are, you've got to use them in games like this just to keep them from
forgetting
not
where the
pitching
mound
for
is.
10 days, right? There was a great story of pitcher used to pitch in the Yankee organization a little bit in the major leagues of Baltimore. Mickey Scott was his name. Pitched for Earl Weaver there. We may not have time to tell it here, as the 1-2 is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Morandini saw a pretty good curveball there. Merker records the strikeout. We'll go to the 9th inning with the Phillies still leading at 8-4.
So much to celebrate. Corbel Champagne.
With Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desonex. Killing those grungy fungi before they get racket and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desonex.
I love it. I think he'll love it. He loves it!
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
Last chance for the Braves here in the top of the 9th, down by an 8-4 count. Top of the order, Otis Nixon, Terry Pendle, and Ronnie Gantt up against Joe Baber. Baber not eligible for a save, but it would be a save in the mind of Jim Fregosi if he can close this one. Nixon tonight 0 for 4. Couple of ground outs, couple of flyouts. I was about to tell you the story of Mickey Scott when he pitched with Baltimore his first year of the Orioles. He called himself the 10th pitcher on an 8-man staff. And about the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season went by, he didn't get into a single game. Warmed up a couple times, but never got into a game the first 5 or 6 weeks. So the Orioles used to play an exhibition game in May against the U.S. Naval Academy over in Annapolis. That was an annual thing. Mickey was designated to start that game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Right through there for a strike. And you can guess what happened. The Orioles took the field. Mickey started out toward left field, wandered around. As if to say, where's the mound? I haven't been there in so long, can't remember where it is. Here's the 2-1 pitch now to Nixon. Now 5-3-1. Three-1 on the way, and it's popped high in the air, foul over near the Braves dugout. It'll drift out of play. And the count full now, 3-2. Braves need base runners and a long one to get close here. Here's the 3-2 on the way. This one fouled back. Nixon stays alive with a full count. The main closer on the staff for the Phillies, Mitch Williams, who has saved 11. Roger McDowell has 3. Strike 3 swinging to Otis Nixon. First strikeout of the night for Baber. 1 gone in the 9th.
He did a job of pitching on Nixon. Looked like he was going to lose him. Came back with fastballs away, showed him the palm ball. And look at this, letter high, inside corner, perfect spot for a fastball.
Now Terry Pendleton has also been kept off base tonight. He has struck out and grounded out 3 times. But you know who has the other save? They have 15 saves in this bullpen. 11 for Mitch Williams, 3 for Roger McDowell. Tonight's starting pitcher, Jose De Jesus, has the other one during his brief stint in the bullpen. 1-0 the count on Pendleton. One ball, 1 strike. Baber sticking pretty much with the fastball.
Well, when you don't use a pitch, but you have it, it's like a phantom pitch. In the back of the batter's mind, they know he's got that palm ball. Am I going to see it now? And just that slight little bit of hesitation adds about a foot to a fastball.
See what he offers him here on the 1-1. Another one fouled away. 1-2 now on Terry Pendleton. Not a whole lot of folks left here at Veterans Stadium. They had a crowd tonight of 12,405. A lot of them headed for home after the Phillies upped their lead to 8-1. It's now 8-4 with 1 out in the 9th inning. Into straightaway center. Campusano is there for the catch. 2 down in the 9th. And the Braves are only 1 out away now from losing their 6th out of 8 on this road trip. Phillies haven't been playing that well lately either. They're only 5-11 in their last 16 games. But they have a chance to make it 2 straight over Atlanta tonight. Ronnie Gant got a base hit last time up. Takes high from Baber. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike on Ronnie Gant. Well, we'll get to see perhaps tomorrow if Tommy Glavine can get the Braves out of this skid. That's what your number 1 starting pitcher is supposed to be able to do for you. Keep you from going into any really long losing streaks. And 5 in a row is long enough. Here's the 1-1 to Ronnie Gant. Loop to center field. That might fall and does for a base hit. So Gant has his 2nd hit of the night. And the Braves still cling to life here. Runner at first with 2 down for David Justice.
And you have to loop it in there pretty short to get one in front of Campusano. He plays as shallow as center field, as you will see. That probably should have been noted last night on the play when Tommy Gregg tried to score, because once he fielded that ball, wasn't that far from home plate before he threw that perfect 1-hop to Steve Lake.
Justice 0 for 3 tonight, only 1 for 7 in the series. So he's due. Upstairs, ball 1. Braves now with 8 hits on the night. The runner at first not being held if he wants to take second. Phillies are telling him, go ahead. Here's the 1-0. High again, ball 2. 2-0 on Justice. Phillies have given Justice a lot of high fastballs in this series.
We started seeing a little bit of that up in Montreal, too. Dennis Martinez would show him the breaking ball, but then the fastball in above the belt.
Here's the 2-0. Popped him up into shallow right field. Morandini is back. Murphy is in. Morandini makes the call, and the Phillies have made it 2 straight over the Braves, who have now dropped 5 in a row. 8-4 the final. Philadelphia winning it. We'll be back with the totals right after this.
There are chances worth taking, and some that are not. If a chance is worth taking, it's worth my best shot. So this time I'll play it safeguard. This time I'll play it safeguard.
The Antibacterial lather in Safeguard gives you more deodorant protection than you may need from your soap. But a little insurance never hurts.
This time, I'll play it Safeguard.
Coming to TNT Sports this summer, this fall, and next winter. See it on TNT.
When you've got a tough case of athlete's foot, the itching, the cracking, the burning, you want a medicine that acts tough. Tough-Actin Tenactin. Clinically proven Tenactin cures even the tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. Get Tough-Actin Tenactin.
Grandma gave me this. It's her favorite color.
Your room's ready? Lilac. It's my favorite color. I love it.
The colors you love for the people you love. Pittsburgh Paints, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
Tonight on TBS, even if this man sets her free, another will never let her go. Gregory Peck, Eva Marie Saint, The Stalking Moon. Tonight at 10:15 Eastern following Braves baseball.
There's a level of service with which you're already quite familiar. Only now you can enjoy it at 35,000 feet. Delta's person-to-person service to over 270 cities worldwide. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Take a look at this revolutionary new car wax. Turtle Wax. That's right, new high-tech formula Turtle Wax. The easiest to use bring back the shine 12-month car wax. This is an old beater. Watch. This is a miracle. Nothing shines or protects better than Turtle Wax. We put this car through a year's worth of car washes. Not just any car wash, a saltwater bath. And water still beads. So get new high-tech formula Turtle Wax today.
When you play the game, you're looking good. That's the Bud Light way that understood.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never lets you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it. You know you got it right. Everything else is right. Just keep your Bud Light shining. You got the shine on.
The Atlanta Braves, America's team, has been brought to you by Bud Light, because everything else is just a light. And by the official airline of the Atlanta Braves, Delta. We love to fly, and it shows.
Braves have hit a roadblock on the road after winning 2 out of 3 in New York. They have now dropped 5 in a row. See their record fall to 31-30. The road trip, they're 2-6. For Pete Smith, it was a struggle tonight. It continued a pattern we've seen all year. His earned run average near 20 in the first inning. Thereafter, it's 1.16. Got hammered around in the first inning tonight as the Phils picked up 4. They finally won it 8-4. For the Phils, 8 runs, 10 hits. They played errorless ball. They stranded 6. For the Braves, 4 runs, 8 hits. They had 2 errors committed. They stranded 9. DeJesus got the win. He's 4-2. Pete Smith the loss. His record now 500 at 1-1. Once again, the final. Phillies 8, Braves 4. In the National League, here's what's happening. They're playing extra innings in Montreal. They're tied at 2. Barnes, Piot, and Sampson, Kyle, Clancy have been there for Houston. New York came up with 2 in their half of the 8 to give Alejandro Pena the win. They beat Cincinnati 7-5, so the Braves will lose no ground to the Reds. They're just underway in San Diego. Tomlin against Peterson. Likewise, Chicago is at Los Angeles. That's Scanlon and Belcher. And St. Louis is at San Francisco. Tewksbury against Wilson. Over in the American League, Minnesota is beating Baltimore 6-0. Minnesota with 2 in the first, 4 in the second. Erickson against Smith. Seattle has nipped Boston 2-1. Seattle got 2 in the top of the 9th. Boston had led it since the 5th inning. Detroit got past Oakland 2-0. Frank Tanana pitched a great ball game. Henneman came on to pitch the 9th. Detroit got 2 in the bottom of the 7th. That's the difference in the ball game. New York over Toronto 4-2. Cleveland losing to Chicago 6-5. Chicago got 4 in the 6th. Milwaukee over California 9-5. They're still slugging it out. Milwaukee got on the board with 7 in the first. California came back with 5 in the 5th, but Milwaukee threw 2 more up there for that 9-5 lead. And Kansas City has scored in the 1st, 4th, and 5th. They lead Texas 8-5.
Once again, here tonight, it was the Phillies over the Braves, 8-4. Braves have now dropped 5 straight. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll wrap it up here in Philadelphia, 12:30 Eastern Time. It'll be Tom Glavine seeking his 11th win. Terry Mulholland pitches tomorrow for the Phillies. Next on TBS, the motion picture The Stalking Moon. Gregory Peck and Eva Marie Saint star in that. Until tomorrow at 12:30, for Don Sutton, for Skip Carey, and for our entire TBS crew, Pete Van Wieren, from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where tonight it was the Phillies 8 and the Braves 4. Good night, everyone.